us for the live stream of NetApp Digital Insight 2020. We hope you're safe and well. I'm Lena Nguyen, and we're sending out a big hello to the NetApp customers, partners, prospects, employees, analysts, and media. Whoever you are, wherever you're joining us from, whatever path got you to Insight today, we're thrilled to have you, and we've got a great program in store for you. It goes without saying that this year's Insight is like no other. This year, we're joining the likes of the Emmys, the Toronto Film Festival, Comic-Con, and the UN General Assembly, and going 100% digital for the first time ever. What do we have that they don't? Well, it's true, Insight won't feature today's hottest TV stars, indie darlings, or action heroes. That is, unless George Kurian shows up in Iron Man cosplay. And we probably won't solve climate change or achieve world peace, because we're saving those for 2021. But we will have the biggest names in cloud and an amazing lineup of specialists from every field imaginable, and so much more. At this year's Insight, we invite you to meet the specialists and unlock the best of cloud from the comfort of wherever you are. We may not be in the same room, but we're all in the same clouds. Here's a preview of what's coming up.
Hi, my name is Ingo Fuchs, and I'm joining you from the mountains outside of Boulder, Colorado. I will show you how to contain your cabin fever with Kubernetes. So let's go, chop chop.
Hi, I'm Mecca Williams in RTP, and I can show you how to get more cloud for less cost. So come check me out during the Innovation Hour, and don't forget to vote for your favorite demo, the one that shows you how to save money. Mine, that's me, that'll be me.
I'm Phoebe Go, and join me on the go as I bring you breaking news from NetApp Insight. It's product launches and announcements from all the NetApp portfolio that you know and love, and some that you don't.
I'm Garrett Mueller, and I can't teach you how to be a great sea captain like me, but I can show you how to manage Kubernetes apps with Project Astra. Come check me out at the Innovation Hour and vote for me, or else.
As you can see, we've got a full day ahead of us. We've got your vision sessions, mega sessions, and customer stories. We've got your technical sessions, certifications, virtual hands-on labs, and sponsor sessions. We've got your connections, ways to put you in touch one-on-one with colleagues, with expert roundtables and small group breakouts. Now, using the Insight digital platform is pretty straightforward, but if you need some tips and tricks on getting around, there's an orientation video at the homepage that you can check out for more info. Technical support for the event, should you need it, can be found at the question mark at the top of the screen. And Insight 2020 is what they called gamified, which means the more you see, the more you do, the longer you stick around and engage, the more points you rack up toward killer swag and some fun prizes. Keep your eye on the leaderboard and see if you can put your name at the top by the time Insight wraps up. So that's the big picture on what's happening at Insight. There's so much more, so have fun exploring the platform as you meet the specialists. We are now just moments away from NetApp CEO George Kurian's Vision Keynote, which features an absolutely astounding lineup of partners and guests from the world of cloud. Just a quick programming note. If you miss any of the live stream, the content will appear later today in the on-demand content library. Time now to find out about the buzz that's building for Insight. For that, let's check in with NetApp Director of Social and Influence, Julie Hsu. Julie, great to see you.
Great to see you, Lena. How are you?
Julie, you are our social media specialist. Tell us how we can interact, connect, and share our Insight 2020 experience.
Absolutely, Lena. We prepared a ton of exciting content to share with you all throughout the day on social handles. Please use hashtag NetApp Insight to follow along on your favorite social handle and get the hashtag trending up across the globe. Comments, share, send a question, or just send your beloved emojis. We'd love to hear from you. Especially, we'd love to know what is your favorite moment of Insight today. Use hashtag NetApp Insight and let us know.
That's awesome. Thank you, Julie. I know you'll be busy this week, so good luck.
Thank you and take care.
Well, the clock is counting down, and we are just moments away from the Insight 2020 digital keynote session with George Kurian. To set the stage, I'd like to bring in NetApp Chief Marketing Officer James Whitemore, who joins us from Sunnyvale, California. Welcome, James.
Hi, Lena. It's great to be here, and thank you so much for emceeing for us this week.
James, Insight is your largest event of the year. This year, it is obviously a lot different from previous years. What's your take on the Insight 2020 digital experience and what we'll learn?
I know it's such a different event. I mean, first up, it's so good to see thousands and thousands of our customers, our partners, and our own employees joining us from around the world. Normally, we would be in a ballroom in Vegas or somewhere hosting this live, and here we are trapped in a digital platform. But, I always wanted to be an MTV VJ, and perhaps this is my closest opportunity to do that.
And what can you tell us about the lineup?
Oh, it's a blockbuster lineup. We have leaders from across the industry, including Microsoft, IBM, Google, AWS, and I don't think anyone has ever assembled that cast on a technology stage before. That's kind of fun.
Well, James, the time is here for the official kickoff to the program. Will you please do the honors?
I will. And ladies, gentlemen, everyone beyond and in between, whoever you are, wherever you are, and however you identify, you are so welcome to be with us today as a part of the NetApp community. So let's get NetApp Digital Insight 2020 started.
NetApp can't make next summer's blockbuster animated film. We're not here just to make you smile. And there's no way we're going to win pole position in MotoGP. We can't do what our customers do. But we can help them do what they do better. At NetApp, we're relentlessly focused on helping you get more out of all the things that matter to your business. Get more out of your digital workforce. Get more from your IT investments. Get more out of your containers, apps, and data center. Because whether you're on-prem, in the cloud, or somewhere in between, NetApp is here to help you optimize, integrate, connect, adapt, and protect the business resource that matters most in your new normal. Your data. That's your differentiator. And that's why you're here, isn't it? To meet the specialists? It's definitely why we're here, to help you unlock the best of cloud. Get ready, because the game is about to change. Insight 2020 Digital begins now.
Welcome to NetApp Insight Digital event. I'm so happy to have you here, and I hope you and your loved ones are safe and healthy. For many years, we've been saying that the world's changing, but no one could have predicted the amount of change we've seen in 2020. Despite all the challenges over the past few months, we learned a lot about ourselves and each other. For example, now we know that when a crisis happens, the first thing we rush to stock up on is toilet paper. That's right, toilet paper. And when things open back up, the first thing we rush out to do is get our hair cut, colored, or otherwise groomed. In all seriousness, this has been a tremendously difficult time. But I hope that you come away from the next 2 days feeling hopeful about the future, because I am. For while change can be difficult, if we treat it as a familiar constant in life, we can spot open windows of opportunity where we might have seen closed doors of despair. The world is changing fundamentally and quickly. There's no question that COVID-19 has rapidly changed the world, replacing physical interaction with socially distant, remote digital interaction. As such, the ways that we interact with customers and engage employees have changed. Businesses have changed, and entire industries are being decomposed and recomposed digitally in real time. This is classic disruption, except this time it's happening at global scale with unprecedented speed. Speed and agility is what helps a business succeed in its response to the pandemic. That has never been more evident than in the last few months. Cloud, broadly defined, is the platform to run your digital business, to engage your customers and employees. And data is the currency of a digital business. It is the digital business understanding of its customers, employees, and suppliers. So let's talk about how we thrive in the new world that's forming and how we at NetApp can help you succeed. Let's start with the IT industry itself. The leading cloud providers are building massive global digital business platforms with powerful ecosystems. And there are specialists who now can leverage the massive scale of those platforms to reach customers around the world. Whereas in the traditional world, these specialists were challenged by generalists who had the benefit of scale but were encumbered with mediocrity, a digital economy rewrites those rules. Specialists with deep expertise and business speed can leverage and contribute to these large digital platforms and ecosystems to rise above the legacy generalists. So what did that cause us to do? Like you, we understand the power of being a specialist, being the very best in the world at what we do. It is at the core of who we are and how we respond to industry disruption. Our transformation started long before COVID, as we considered how digitization and cloud would impact customers, the industry, and NetApp. While our competition stuck to their plan to build their own competitive clouds and failed, we prioritized customer needs and chose to partner with the leading cloud providers. Let me share our thought process and strategic choices, for it might help you as you consider your own path forward. First, we figured out what customers really need. Data, hybrid, and multi-cloud are both very hard, enduring problems. Customers need a data fabric to deliver the right data to the right place at the right time. Second, we doubled down on what NetApp is a specialist at building on 28 years of experience. Building a portfolio of cloud data services, software, and systems to help you lead with data. Third, but we're exploiting what we're really good at in new ways, bringing the performance, efficiency, and availability of the mission-critical enterprise to the leading public clouds, and bringing the simplicity and flexibility of the public cloud to the enterprise. Fourth, we're partnering with the industry leaders and with the world's biggest clouds to build a new innovation ecosystem. You know, we're at NetApp building an open architecture, unlike the walled gardens you see from other enterprise cloud vendors. And this gives you choice and investment protection moving forward. And finally, we're building upon all of this with additional capabilities, talent, and business evolution. You will see evidence of this at Insight this year with new members of our leadership team, acquisitions, keystone services, continuous software innovation, and deep co-development with cloud providers. So what does that mean for you? We at NetApp are the specialists who are helping you unlock the best of cloud across public, hybrid, and on-premises. We're helping you demand more from your cloud. For example, we help you build, deploy, and optimize new applications much more quickly on public, hybrid, and multi-cloud. Second, we enable you to embrace the best of both public and private clouds so that you can deploy and scale your digital business initiatives with the best hybrid cloud architecture in the industry, period. And finally, we help you consolidate, modernize, simplify, and automate your data center infrastructure with an easy path to cloud to enable you to make data as a service available to your stakeholders. And our data fabric strategy continues to make progress. I'm super excited at the innovations we're announcing this year. Since last year, in public cloud services, we have, through the acquisitions of Spot, Talon, and CloudJumper, and the enhancement of our cloud storage capabilities, established a platform for highly optimized application-driven infrastructures. It complements and extends the data fabric, saving customers up to 90% of their cloud costs. Anthony Lye will tell you more how we uniquely combine the flexibility of serverless computing with storageless data persistence to give you the simplest, easiest to manage, continuously optimized infrastructure for enterprise applications, cloud-native applications, and virtual desktop applications. You'll hear more from our team about ONTAP 9.8, the next major release of the world's #1 storage operating system that powers both enterprise and public cloud environments. And you'll hear about how we're integrating our portfolio in new and unique ways to build the most efficient solutions for the enterprise data center and for the hybrid cloud. You see, we can help you in so many new ways, regardless of where you are on your journey. Throughout the Insight program, we'll share more information on how we're doing that with great customer examples. In addition to key NetApp executives, we have a great lineup of guest speakers today, including the CEOs from IBM and Microsoft, and fantastic senior leaders from AstraZeneca and AWS. To kick those conversations off, let's start with an industry leader who we are partnering with to help customers take advantage of the rich set of public cloud capabilities. I'm very excited to have Satya Nadella, CEO of Microsoft, joining me today. Satya, welcome to NetApp Insight. We've accomplished incredible things through our 25 years of partnership since we introduced unified storage for file and block. In fact, the work on that began when you were the leader of Windows Server Group. And we have a long history of co-innovation between the two companies to serve our joint customers, the latest chapter of which is now expanding to the cloud. What, in your view, has made the partnership between Microsoft and NetApp such a fruitful and innovative one over the years?
Now, first of all, George, it's fantastic to be with you. And as you said, we've been partnering for many decades, and I have a long history even in as far as this partnership goes. The work we're doing with Azure NetApp Files, as well as your core work around basically building a storage operating system and how we bring these two things together to support our customers' need for hybrid infrastructure has been breakthrough work. And you see it, George, in terms of our customers right now. I mean, when I think about Kona, who is the services firm that deals with all the Coca-Cola bottlers, they were being able to use Azure NetApp Files to really bring about that agility that the firm needed in order to service all of the needs. Or even some of the other customers who are able to use this. I think Ferguson, which is one of the largest HVAC providers in the world, is using, solutions such as Azure NetApp Files, as well as Windows Virtual Desktop to immediately provision all of what remote workers need. So it's fantastic to see not only the technology work that we have done, the product work we've done, but the impact I think this is having in digital transformational outcomes. And the one thing, George, I know you and I both care a lot about is the agility that is needed to really drive value out of product technologies. And I think that that's one of the places where we are seeing really transformative impact of our two companies coming together and doing the work.
Thanks, Satya. You mentioned, agility, and what we are also seeing, thanks to the work that we're doing with your company, is the ability to deploy now mission-critical environments on the Azure cloud using our technology. An example is Repsol, a global energy company. They were clearly interested in using the Azure platform to accelerate high-performance computing by combining the computational capabilities of your high-performance computing landscape together with Azure NetApp Files. They've been able to take some simulation runs for reservoir modeling from 30 days to less than a day. In fact, it went so fast that they said, wow, the job's probably stopped working, when in fact it had actually completed, something that we engineers probably celebrate. So it's really fantastic work like that, Satya.
That's absolutely. I mean, it's great to see that. I mean, that's a great example of, I think, what this new generation of infrastructure from the two of us really enables. In fact, I shudder to think, George, what the world's economic output would have been with all the constraints that this pandemic has faced, but for, I would say, this current generation of digital technology, both from a resilience as well as its transformative impact.
That's a great point, Satya. So, we see our customers now accelerating their transformation which has now become a necessity, frankly, because of the COVID pandemic. You've led transformation for many years at Microsoft and are seen as one of the most successful leaders of that transformation. What would be 2 or 3 key lessons learned in terms of leading transformation that you'd share with our customers?
Couple of things, George. For me, having grown up at Microsoft now close to 30 years, I believe that, of course, time of great change, we have to get a lot of things right. You got to get where is technology going? What are the industry forces that are secular changes? How do you pick your strategies right? And then, of course, execute. But perhaps most important, though, for all of us as leaders is to understand more deeply what are the necessary conditions that even help you deal with change and massive change. And I've gone back to that sense of purpose and mission because you can't fake it. That's identity you have, which we all as individuals have. I think even companies have that. So at Microsoft, we got created as a company that produced the first product from Microsoft was the basic interpreter for the Altair. A lot has happened since the Altair, but that core essence, George, of building technology so that everyone else can build more technology is more true in 2020 than it was in 75. Right? When we talk about digital transformation, every business is becoming a software business. So that's what we've gone back to, our very core roots, doing things not out of envy, but doing things that are out of our core sense of purpose. And similarly, culture. That's the other pillar because the lived experience of our employees is going to determine our success versus a lot of other things. And being grounded in our culture, which we describe as our growth mindset culture, inspired by the work that Carol Dweck at Stanford has done. And so that's really living. It's not just talking about it and putting up posters, but lived experience, starting with me. Is going to be the most important thing that I think make the cases. As leaders, you have to make the case for change before change happens. And these are the 2 things at least I've focused a lot of my energy on.
Satya, those are wise words of wisdom coming from you. We at NetApp, clearly endorse and have the same idea. We call it, being a specialist, being authentic in the way that you approach the world, being true to yourself and your mission, as you just said, and then finding what you can be really good at so that the world can benefit from it. Thank you so much for the partnership. It's wonderful to have the NetApp Microsoft partnership on the front foot to get our customers and the world at large to a better future. We appreciate the work that your teams do with us across engineering and sales and customer support to help our joint customers. And thank you for being here today.
Absolutely. My pleasure, George. It's such a pleasure partnering with you and looking forward to more impact we can have with our customers.
Thanks, Satya. Be well.
Thank you. You too.
From the cutting edge of cloud to the cutting edge of healthcare, our next guest is actually using cloud to help save lives around the world right now. AstraZeneca is a global biopharmaceutical company using data to drive science. Working with NetApp, they make sure that their data is available to their scientists and researchers at the right time, helping get life-changing treatments to patients a lot quicker. Please join me in warmly welcoming Scott Hunter, Director of Cloud Platforms and Digital Solutions at AstraZeneca. Welcome, Scott. Thank you so much for joining us today. I think we're all excited to hear about AstraZeneca's progress in the hunt for a COVID vaccine. Something like this must require a huge amount of data. So how do you work with all of that? And what are some of the biggest challenges that you face?
Thanks, George, and thanks for inviting me along to speak at this event. It's much appreciated. Typically, vaccine trials would take place over a far greater time period than what we've got available to us today, and would be introduced in a small subset of population. Subject to phase 3 trial success, we are preparing to ingest data generated by up to 2 billion doses being deployed at pretty much at the same time globally. It's incredibly important to collect the data, particularly any of the adverse event data, and ensure that's fed back to the relevant regulatory organisations in real time. And part of that process allows us to cross-reference this data with existing data for our own patients to ensure that there's no adversity with our patients and the therapies that they're currently taking.
Wow, 2 billion doses, and that data needs to be integrated across a range of stakeholders. You know, I know AstraZeneca is working with all the leading cloud providers. What are you using each of them for?
So we use 4 of the major cloud providers just now. So AWS, Azure, Google, and Alibaba. And we kind of abstract our own methods of operation on top of that, but at the same time take advantage of some of the niche capabilities that you get with some of them. So NLP research in Azure is big for us. We use a lot of the infrastructure as a service components within AWS for R&D, but as I say, we layer them or abstract these on top of what we use from a data fabric perspective, which is where NetApp comes into play. That allows us to collaborate with other hospitals, other research institutes, and other partners as well to ensure that we get the data at the point of time and point of requirement as well.
You mentioned NetApp helping you, connect your clouds with each other, your researchers with their counterparts with data, and help you deliver the right experience. Could you tell our audience a little bit about what you do with NetApp Technologies?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, what we use NetApp Technologies for is to provide that data fabric so that we can collaborate our data amongst the 4 major cloud providers, but at the same time federate our data with partners and other institutes that we collaborate with to help with not only COVID, but in the 4 main therapy areas that I mentioned earlier. So for us, we don't really see any one of the 4 public cloud vendors as being above each other, but we see them all being intrinsic to what we do within what we call the AZ Cloud, which is an amalgamation of the 4 of them, plus what we do with their own private cloud within their own data centers on premise.
It's wonderful that you use our tools to provide this abstraction layer. We're working with you on some of the newer technologies like containers and microservices. How do you see that and NetApp Technologies play into your architecture going forward?
Yeah, absolutely. It's fundamental for us going forward, and we're really excited to be part of the Project Astra with NetApp, which allows our engineers to work with your engineers to get like a common outcome to what we want to do with containers, particularly with Kubernetes and a lot of the other CNCF type functions that we're collaborating on. So for us, NetApp's a big, massive part in that, not only for what we do with the data fabric, but also with how we want to use our compute capabilities across AZ Cloud.
Scott, that's fantastic to hear. I'm so glad that we have been able to help you build a data fabric to extend the capabilities of the AstraZeneca cloud to now a global cloud. We hope you can stick around for the rest of the show. It's always a pleasure hearing about the important work that AstraZeneca is doing. And I can tell you, everybody around the globe is rooting for your success. Thank you.
My pleasure, George. Thanks very much. And I'm really happy with all of us at AstraZeneca are really happy with the value that we get from NetApp. I'm not really sure how we do anything without the technology and support that you guys give us. So thanks very much. Thanks again.
Thank you, Scott. Be well, be safe, and congratulations and good luck going forward. Now, I would like to welcome a true technologist, Arvind Krishna. As CEO of IBM, Arvind has spent his distinguished career driving innovation in both core and emerging technology. The relationship between NetApp and IBM goes back over 20 years, and it's something that we continue to expand upon as we explore new opportunities to serve customers together. Thank you for joining me today, Arvind. Welcome to NetApp Insight. It's great to see you. This has been quite a year for you, hasn't it?
Indeed, George. Thank you very much for having me here. And what a pleasure to interact with the Insight audience, even though virtually this year.
If this year has taught us anything, it's that change is a necessity. We see a number of our customers being super innovative as they reinvent their companies. What are you experiencing?
I have to start by acknowledging the crisis the world is going through. A health crisis, an economic crisis, and a justice crisis. So it's been quite a year. Now, with that, you always have to look at what is the opportunity in all of these crises. And I would tell you that we fundamentally believe that all these crises have acted as an accelerator. And the accelerator is around three different vectors. The first vector is that of digitization. Every business, every enterprise, every government is accelerating their path to digitization. We can debate whether what took 5 years will take 2 years, or what it was going to take 3 years is going to take 1 year. Now, with that comes the second vector of change that we are seeing, and that is all around hybrid cloud. So far, only about 20%, we can debate whether it's 15 to 25%, but I'll take 20% of workloads have moved to the cloud. And that number is actually a lot lower when we look at regulated industries. So this begs the question, why is the rate of adoption so low when in many other technologies you get close to saturation within 10 years? And so all of the questions around latency, sovereignty, and where people start from come into the place, and I'll touch on those later. But it's clear that with this crisis, the rate of adoption on cloud and towards hybrid cloud is increasing. And the third area that everybody's excited about is artificial intelligence, or AI. We know that AI could have as much as a $16 trillion impact on productivity over the next decade. But we are only 4% of the way in. And that is such a low number that it offers us massive opportunity. And every client that we talk to wants to unlock value from data, and AI offers the only path forward. So three big vectors: digitization, hybrid cloud, AI, George.
Absolutely, Arvind. We see things very, very similar to you. You mentioned hybrid cloud. Hybrid cloud is rapidly becoming the modern architectures companies are built on, which in turn facilitates digitization and AI adoption. Are there high-value areas you would guide our audience to investigate as they take their hybrid cloud journey?
Absolutely, George. So first, as we talk about hybrid cloud, maybe not a definition, but we should set a little bit of a context for our audience. So when we say hybrid cloud, we mean the interoperable nature of what's in people's data centers, what's on multiple public clouds, what's on SaaS properties, as well as private cloud. And I would say that that's not a way stop, that probably is the destination. And as we get to the highest value areas, we should talk about the four big value unlocks you get as you embrace hybrid cloud. And I kind of talk about it as history, choice, law or sovereignty, as well as regulation, and then physics. So when we talk about history, people begin from a certain place. Today, as we have stated, 80% of the applications and the critical applications are sitting in people's data centers. So how do you unlock that value in what has got the most economic benefit for people? So that'll become a mixture of private and public. We then get to sovereignty. Data sovereignty often states that data cannot leave a certain geography, certain nation, and that in turn requires a certain set of attributes around it. Latency plays a role. If you're going to do certain AI applications, the data, the compute, and the sensors have to be right next to each other. We can certainly imagine it in medicine as well as factory flows. And as we go from this to all of these elements, it begins to define what you do. So one high-value area I'll touch on, George, is around regulated industries. As we think about the hundreds of regulators with the thousands of regulations that come into banking, insurance, or any significant financial institution, how can we give them all of the controls that they need and all of the ability to satisfy the regulators while still getting the flexibility of cloud environments. And so this mixture of a regulated financial cloud coupled with what's going on security and privacy, I think is a huge area that I would point all our audience towards.
Thank you, Arvind. You know, success is often dependent on great teams and partners. We've been partnering a long time and work closely to ensure mutual customers change their goals. Change and evolution are core to our relationship, and we've made some changes that enable us to bring our customers' hybrid cloud journey to life. How do you see those changes being adopted by customers?
Look, I think that, George, first of all, let me echo about the partnership that we have had together for almost 20 years, as you said at the beginning. It's a partnership that's formed on mutual trust and on the mutual success of our clients. And I think that what we both do together really well is supporting the mission-critical nature of our clients' work. I think an example is certainly Anthem, but let me broaden it from a healthcare client to a much, much broader area. There's a number of areas where we are making announcements. Some we are just about to announce, some we have been working on for years. And when I think about the work we do together to support SAP, which is certainly a mission-critical application, the way we support our hybrid cloud journeys, the way that NetApp products support both OpenShift and Ansible. So if I look at these are, I think, great exemplars of what we are doing, about to do, and that really are in service of our clients' hybrid cloud journeys. So I think that that's a great way to sum up what we do together, and I'm super excited about bringing more value to our clients.
Thank you, Arvind. Thank you for your wisdom and insight, and thank you for the partnership. Thank you for being part of NetApp Insight. NetApp and IBM together truly represent the best of all worlds for our customers, giving them the ability to now extend their data fabric to the IBM hybrid cloud. And now I'm pleased to welcome the Senior Vice President of NetApp's Public Cloud Services, Anthony Lye.
Thanks, George. Hi, everybody. I'm Anthony Lye. I lead NetApp's Public Cloud Services. And as always, it's just such a great pleasure to connect with you here at Insight. You know, as you've heard today, cloud has become the great equalizer. You know, the combination of kind of public cloud infrastructure, the proliferation of smartphones, you know, it's created a virtually free platform for companies to launch new capabilities to global audiences continuously. You know, at NetApp, we run our services inside and on top of the 3 big public clouds, and increasingly as software on private clouds. And you know, we're the only company that provides as good a platform on the public cloud as we do on premises. You know, the question we keep asking ourselves is, how can we accelerate the cloud opportunity? Enable customers to run more applications, for us to be more native, more deeply integrated, you know, to boost performance and always to try to eliminate operational overhead. You know, customers want more cloud at less cost. And to sort of enable that, we think that customers need application-driven infrastructures. You know, application-driven infrastructures extend data fabrics. Application-driven infrastructures are APIs that sort of continuously optimize compute and storage for price and performance at runtime. And when implemented, we save customers up to 90% of their cloud infrastructure costs. And as we help customers prepare for the future, we've taken big steps to enable both legacy and cloud-native applications to run these APIs. So to tell you more, I'm really, really pleased to introduce and welcome Amiram, who recently joined NetApp with our acquisition of Spot. And we should probably call this sort of the official Spot welcome party. So welcome, Amiram, to NetApp.
Thank you, Anthony. We're very excited to be here, and thank you for having me. Incredibly excited to be part of NetApp now.
So, you know, tell us what appealed to you. Why NetApp? You know, you established a company, you've grown a company. What made NetApp an attractive suitor for you?
So that's true. And as you know, we've been running the company for almost 5 years now, scaling the company from 0 to 1,500 customers, from big enterprises like Sony and Samsung and Ticketmaster, through tech unicorns like the Wix and Fivers of the world. And we realized that in order to become the platform, compute needs storage and storage needs compute. So essentially, every time you launch compute in the cloud, you get storage. So when we had our first talk, I was very amazed by the bold vision and commitment that NetApp has to the public cloud.
So, we speak a lot about a data fabric, right, which helps get the data to the right place. Once the data is there, we want to make sure the data is protected and secured, backed up, etc. What does Spot do?
So Spot, what it does, it helps companies who use compute in the cloud to run the compute in the most optimal and efficient way possible. So we basically help the customer from choosing the right price for the compute, the right size for the compute, and also enabling this application-driven infrastructure. So application request what they need from the infrastructure, and Spot allows them to do that with a set of APIs.
That's great. Let's talk a little bit about, all things containers and, of course, Kubernetes. Tell us a little bit about Spot and Kubernetes.
So at Spot, we see that the future of compute relies on packaged applications like containers that developer can just ship to production with a fully managed compute. So what Spot has done in the past few years is basically developing a platform that allows companies to deploy containers without managing the servers. That product called Ocean, and Ocean is a data plane manager for Kubernetes that can connect with any control plane on any cloud.
So you've essentially built an industry-leading serverless infrastructure. Now, what can you do with storage?
So the appetite is really big. When we got into NetApp and we got to know all the different capabilities and great technology of storage that NetApp has, so right now we can take an uptake and basically do to storage what we do to compute. With serverless compute, we can actually move to storage-less volumes. So basically, we help our customers not to think about how they manage their storage and how they size their storage and how they take the performance of the storage. It all is going to be managed just like they get in compute.
That's great. So, you guys heard it here, serverless and storageless around an application-driven architecture. Insight 2020 is going to be a fantastic event. I hope that all of you get time to listen to customers and to our product teams. We really think that we have meaningful value that we can give you. We can cut your cost, we can simplify your infrastructure, and enable you to get more cloud. Thanks, Amiram. Well, it's my great pleasure now to introduce Bill Voss from Amazon Web Services to everybody. Hey, Bill, how you doing?
Hey, Anthony, it's always great to see you.
Bill, thanks so much for joining us at Insight. We've known each other for 4 years now, and NetApp and Amazon have been partnering for over 6. We were real early believers in Amazon Web Services, and we continue to evolve our partnership in so many exciting ways. Bill, what was it about the partnership between Amazon and NetApp that really resonates with customers? What is it that we've done together?
I think it's really about the fact that we're both very customer obsessed. We both care a lot about performance and security and durability of data. And we're both very strong engineering companies. So it's great to have our engineers and the synergy between our two companies going all of the time. And some of the things we've done together are things like working on innovations with S3. So the metadata tagging would move across, integrations with your Fabric pool so that it could be seamless, integrations with Cloud Insight, integrations with our Snow products like the Snow Cone and other things like that, with AltaVault and things like that. And of course, ONTAP on AWS, which is a really amazing product for our customers.
So Bill, what's top of mind for customers these days? What are you seeing?
Well, obviously, COVID has affected their viewpoint in the ability to have more elastic services. So they pay for it when they need it and then don't pay for it when they don't. Machine learning is really important because you need a huge amount of data and compute for that to get insights out of your data, but then you don't need it the whole time after you've trained your models. Streaming in real time is important, along with being able to expand up for big EMR jobs, and containers are important, and Lambda and serverless. So there's a lot going on across our customers today.
We together, continue to work on all AWS offerings, and we were really excited that recently we've certified Spot and Cloud Volumes ONTAP onto Outposts. What are some other examples of where Amazon continues to innovate?
Yeah, so Outpost has been really important to us and, sort of augment our edge processing and capabilities, both with partners like you and our Snow products for ruggedized environments. But it's very exciting to have ONTAP down there so people can do low latency local processing where they need that, or data residency requirements as well. But there's a lot going on in the cloud, everything from pushing the cloud out to the edge with IoT and things like that, to quantum computing, to extended machine learning, as we mentioned, and of course, continued expansion of services that go even up into space with things like ground station, which also collect a lot of data. And so data management is really important. Data protection is really important. Machine learning is going to be really important along with analytics.
It's amazing what Amazon continues to do. Bill, looking forward, doing more NetApp and Amazon Web Services, what's next on the horizon for our partnership?
So I think we're going to continue to improve performance, security, scalability, ROI together, continue to work seamlessly on things like CloudWatch Insights or Cloud, the Cloud Insights product, so that you can go through and really see what's going on across your data and your data playing both on-prem and in the cloud. And I think there's going to be a lot of exciting announcements and joint development together that we're just continuing to work on.
Well, Bill, it's always a pleasure to see you. It's been great to have you back at Insight 2020. We really do value the relationship that we have with you and your team and everybody at Amazon. You are a company with an obsession to customer and innovation that's really, I think, an amazing business model. Thanks again for joining us, Bill, as always. And with that, I'd like to hand over the next session to my good friend, Matt Hurford. Matt?
Thank you, Anthony, for such a lovely introduction. My name is indeed Matt Hurford, and I have the distinct honor of leading the solutions engineering team across Asia Pacific. It's fantastic to join you all today from sunny Sydney. And we've heard so many great stories about the alliances we're building, the solutions, the innovation that NetApp is continuing to drive into the market. I'm joined by Jonsi Stefansson, the CTO and VP for Cloud, all the way from Iceland.
Hey, Matt. What's up, buddy? Awesome to be here with you.
Hey, Jonsi. Good to see you, mate. Good to see you. Now, we're going to dive a little deeper into some of the solutions and innovation we're driving. But one thing is driving me a little crazy, and that's all around this constant use of digital disruption. I had a Snakes and Ladders board game that was my favorite when I was a 14-year-old boy. And it got completely disrupted by my Nintendo Game & Watch parachute game. So I don't think this is something new in the market. I think our customers are really looking to drive differentiated customer experiences. I think that's what technology is enabling our customers to do. And that's what's driving the use of containers and microservices. They're looking to innovate faster. They want to create these new customer outcomes and these new customer touch points and make sure they're relevant. Jonsi, what are we doing to support this?
We're doing a lot of things. Firstly, we are in such a unique position of being everywhere. We have the data fabric. That's something that has been ingrained into the NetApp DNA. We are even going further and leading the way in Kubernetes persistent volumes and tying that to the application. We have, like with our acquisition of Spot, we have Ocean, that is actually the world's best Kubernetes optimization and offers this serverless overlay on top of your favorite Kubernetes flavor, whether it's on-premise or in the public cloud. What we are now adding is a new sort of terminology called storageless, which basically optimizes storage on the fly so the customer doesn't have to worry about the storage. Allow NetApp to be the storage specialist that we are, and you do what you do best. That's how we are actually contributing.
I'm glad you explained that term storageless, because I was going to ask if you were getting the marketing memos, to be honest, because I thought we were the cloud storage specialists. But what we're doing is abstracting away that complexity, right? We want our customers to focus on innovation, focus on building new apps, building new customer outcomes, and not having to worry about managed storage and the optimization of their Kubernetes clusters.
Absolutely. And with our new project, Astra, we can actually take over every single one of your storage classes, whether it's your platinum, gold, silver, bronze. And we can have and apply all the data management capabilities and seamlessly, based on the application need, move it between these storage classes or between on-premise and your public cloud of choice. This is sort of marrying the data fabric concept into the application-driven concept. So this is something that is extremely powerful and allows the customers to move faster, focus on what they do best.
Exactly. I'm glad you raised that, because this isn't just about the public cloud, is it? This is about the fact that people are innovating everywhere. And I know in Asia Pacific, a lot of our customers are using large Kubernetes clusters on-premise, and we're looking to balance both those worlds and perhaps bring true application mobility that VMs didn't provide, and we think containers can, with Astra and some of the projects we have.
Absolutely. I mean, Kubernetes always promised of fixing the hybrid, the VM conversion from OVA to, QCOW or SEN. Kubernetes is containers. They can freely move, but it's only sorted for stateless applications, and stateful applications have always been treated like second-rated citizens. I've never built, and I've done product development all my life, I've never built an application stack or a product that didn't consist or have persistency or data. So this is what we are solving. We are making the stateful applications and data-rich applications as portable as Kubernetes made the stateless ones. So this is super exciting for us. And innovation on-premise and the public cloud, I mean, have you looked at what ONTAP is doing? There's no small feat in taking a large ONTAP storage system, monolith, and containerizing it. Bringing that to market, making it natively deployable. Man, the ONTAP engineering team is flying. And we are reaping the benefits of all the creativity there, and they are reaping the benefits of the public cloud services.
This is super exciting. I think we can really drive this innovation our customers are looking for, so they can focus on driving that differentiated service outcome for their customers. Thank you for joining me today, Jonsi. It's been fantastic.
Hi, I'm Phoebe Go, Principal Architect at NetApp, reporting from Michigan.
And I'm Kim Weller, Director of Solutions Engineering, reporting from Houston.
In the Americas, we love being on the cutting edge of technology, and we know that you do too. Here's the latest news from NetApp.
Our sources in Chicago have just confirmed a host of new industry-changing product launches to help you drive digital transformation and move your business faster.
NetApp is making major announcements for both on-premises and the cloud to optimize how your organization manages data. Here are the headlines on ONTAP 9.8, Cloud Manager, Spot by NetApp, and NetApp Virtual Desktop Service. Let's get into it. We're hearing worldwide that CTOs are discovering extra money in their cloud budgets.
The hero in our savings story is Spot by NetApp, which powers up your cloud spend by intelligently optimizing cloud infrastructure while maintaining service levels.
And breaking news from the keynote at NetApp Insight, announcing Spot Storage, bringing the guarantee of cost optimization to automatically match storage performance with application demands.
In other news, Spot by NetApp adds Spot Kubernetes optimization, providing visibility into your container infrastructure costs and health.
We're hearing the Spot by NetApp engineers are competing to release features that have never been seen before. Spot Kubernetes Optimization Service is the only end-to-end data lifecycle management service for Kubernetes from a single vendor.
That's right, Phoebe. This extends NetApp's vision of helping customers deploy workloads in the cloud while optimizing both storage and compute. That's Spot by NetApp. Phoebe, the networks are buzzing with a big scoop about Data ONTAP, the industry's favorite operating system, and mine too. NetApp is delivering great innovation in ONTAP 9.8 with improvements naturally to storage efficiencies, availability, and simplicity. On top of that, we help you beat the bad guys with enhanced security features, and we're pioneering new hybrid cloud capabilities, unique in the industry.
Unique. That's why all the cloud CEOs and VPs are here with us at NetApp Insight.
Yeah, that was so interesting this morning. The ONTAP team says this is the best of the enterprise data center made cloud enabled. Best of all, it's easy to get these new enhancements with a regular upgrade to ONTAP software guided by Active IQ. That's ONTAP 9.8, the world's most innovative storage OS.
Kim, we've spotted a new cloud celebrity on the scene. NetApp Cloud Manager has evolved into an automation, cost optimization, cloud portability superhero. Users already love using Cloud Manager's centralized control plane to deploy cloud storage and orchestrate replication between clouds and even on premises. Now, Cloud Manager has gained additional superpowers to manage, monitor, and automate data protection and portability across your hybrid environment.
Superpowers. I love it, Phoebe. Will Cloud Manager save the world?
Just about. Cloud Manager will help you save up to 90% of compute and storage costs in the cloud.
Let's turn to NetApp Virtual Desktop Service. Phoebe, this is a big deal for organizations who need to deploy their virtual desktop environments with speed, right?
Right. We have reporters on the scene in all of our supported cloud providers, and they tell us the SaaS-based control plane makes it a snap to deploy, manage, and optimize their virtual desktop environments over time. This flexible solution with open APIs works smashingly, whether you're all in with a cloud provider, deploying on premises, or somewhere in between.
But let's get our facts straight. NetApp VDS doesn't specialize in cataloging your Star Wars action figure collection, but it can automatically scale and right-size resources. Plus, it's a Jedi at simplifying the management of applications, sessions, and data. And of course, it's integrated with other NetApp cloud data services like shared storage, data protection, and compliance.
Right. It'll even run your desktops from Tatooine. This is Virtual Desktop Service from NetApp. That wraps our breaking news for the Americas. For all the details, check netapp.com.
We now return you to your regularly scheduled program. Phoebe, you feel like a burger and some fries?
Socially distanced, of course.
Thank you for joining our vision session today. Thanks to all of our guests and speakers. Those were really meaningful conversations. Before we move on to the next part of our show, I want to take a minute to share a few key takeaways from today. First, we heard loud and clear the world is in a constant state of disruption, and we are all on a relentless path of transformation. Everyone we talked to today is finding ways to respond, to compete and thrive in the new normal. And that requires data-driven digital transformation. No matter where you are on your transformation journey, you heard how NetApp, with our partners, are helping you reshape IT and unlock the best of cloud. Next, we do that by bringing enterprise data services for mission-critical workloads to the leading clouds, and by bringing the simplicity and flexibility of the public cloud to the enterprise. All the same rich capabilities and performance that powers the global demands of the leading clouds. And finally, we gained valuable insights into why NetApp is the cloud storage specialist. We combine our differentiated data fabric strategy and expanding portfolio of innovation to deliver a full range of new and unique capabilities across your cloud, your enterprise data center, and your hybrid environment. Sincere thanks to everyone for joining us today. We have lots of great content still to come today. And please join us again here tomorrow. We'll have another great lineup. Tomorrow, you will hear from the CEO of Google Cloud, along with senior leaders from the Children's Cancer Institute, to share their perspectives on the industry, transformation, and how the work we're doing together can help you unlock the best of cloud. So please enjoy the rest of the show, and we'll see you here again tomorrow. Thank you, and God bless.
Hey everyone, James is back again, and this time I'm joined by three of our global leaders who between them represent every customer from the data center to the cloud in every geography around the world. So Alex, Anuj, Rick, thank you so much for joining me. And what an amazing keynote that was. Just truly kind of like great to see all of those people come together. I'd just love to get your perspectives on it. So let's start with you, Alex. What's the key takeaway for you?
Thank you very much, James. And if you ask me, there's nothing better than listening to a customer. And it's really great to see the concept of data fabric come to life with AstraZeneca. That's not data fabric in theory, that's data fabric in practice, helping one of the world's largest companies to develop vaccine for COVID. Hearing all these speakers really enforces what we are seeing on a daily basis in the field. These past months have been challenging for everyone, and now, more than ever, digital transformation is a top priority for every business. We see most of our customers and partners developing comprehensive data strategies, building their own data fabric, and future-proofing their IT investments. They are looking for a complete portfolio of solutions ready to tackle the biggest business workloads, no matter where the data is or where it might need to be in the future, be it on-prem, be it hybrid, or be it in the public cloud.
You know, you're right, Alex. It's so great to see those stories of data fabric coming to life. And you're going to hear from so many more of our customers during the course of the event. But let me turn to you, Anuj. You know, this is your first NetApp Insight, right? What's the key takeaway for you?
I couldn't be more excited, James. You're right. It's my first. I've been here a few months, and I was blown away with the depth of the relationship that I saw across all the hyperscalers, especially when George and Satya talked about more than 20 years of this relationship that's culminated into us actually being a native service.
You know, so right. And I encourage everyone to check out all the sessions on Spot and how we help optimize and save, up to, like you say, Anuj, up to 90%. That's incredible. So now let's flip over to you, Rick. Key takeaways from you.
You know, it was great to see all these companies on stage, especially to see IBM on stage, and to listen to Arvind talk publicly about the relationship that we have. And that's important because it demonstrates the confidence and the commitment that we've had in each other over the last 20 years. You know, we continue to add value to our joint customers through innovation and stability and closely aligning and collaborating with them on their SAP and their hybrid cloud and OpenShift and Ansible solutions that we deliver together. So our broad partnership with IBM enables us to solve real customer problems and looking at those problems from several different perspectives. So for me, it was great to see IBM on stage. It's great to see all of these partners on stage and how we're actually going to market with them to solve customer problems. So we're excited about that, and we're excited about how we can expand and explore new opportunities with all of them to serve our joint customers.
Yeah, so great, Rick. I mean, you got it. It's all about delivering value to our customers and how we help them wherever they are, put data at the heart of their business so that they can be the best at whatever it is that they do. You know, thank you all, Alex, Anuj, Rick, for joining us. We'll be back later in the event, but in the meantime, enjoy the show.
Thank you, James, Alex, Anuj, and Rick. What a great wrap-up for today's Vision Keynote session. And if you thought we've seen the last of the celebrity tech names here at Insight, you'd be wrong. We have lots more in store for you on day 2. So be sure to get here in time to see it as it happens during the live stream tomorrow. Now, for those of you just logging on, I'm Lena Nguyen, and this is the live stream for Insight 2020, where NetApp invites you to meet the specialists and unlock the best of cloud. Coming up shortly is the first of today's 4 mega sessions, beginning with more cloud, less cost. Do you want high performance from your storage? Of course you do. Your data center may still be your powerhouse, your rock in times of turmoil, but there's a good chance you need some upgrades. In today's first mega session, you will hear how to replicate good economics instead of rewarding bad efficiencies. Sound good? Mega session 1 begins shortly. Meanwhile, how about giving Insight a shout out on social? I mean, we're seeing some great comments and questions coming in the chat function on the site. So keep them coming, and we'll try to best point you to where you can get answers to your questions from the NetApp specialists. If at any point you're having technical issues, the button above, actually it's more like over there, that's going to get you the help you need. You may have noticed that there's an exciting new look and feel for the NetApp brand. Let's take a closer look.
The world's best rocket scientist isn't the world's best marine biologist. Just like the world's strongest man probably couldn't nail Swan Lake. Being a specialist means not being great at lots of other things. It takes dedicated focus. But that sort of focus is out of fashion. Today, everyone wants to be a generalist. Not at NetApp. We're proud to be specialists. We don't make laptops. You don't want us to create a TV show? Seriously. We can't do what our customers do. What we do is provide the most cutting-edge and remarkable cloud storage services on the planet, which might not make us a great DJ. But it does let us help you access your data in the right place at the right time. There's plenty of things we can't do, but we can connect your cloud to on-prem and have them get along like BFFs. BFFs that reduce costs and improve data availability, obviously. Cooking Michelin-star food? Sorry. Analyzing data to maximize your security and maintain compliance? Take a seat. Puppy training? No. Optimizing application performance in data centers and on the cloud? Good boy. It's all we think about. Unlocking more than you ever thought possible from your cloud. So when you're thinking about cloud storage, why just be in good hands? When you can be in the mother flippin' specialists' hands. The cloud storage specialists. NetApp.
GumGum is a contextual intelligence company that uses natural language processing and computer vision to solve hard problems across the media industry. And when they needed someone to help solve hard problems in keeping their cloud costs manageable, they turned to the specialists at NetApp. For the first in our series of Customer Chronicles, here's how GumGum uses Spot by NetApp to unlock the best of cloud.
My name is Vaibhav Puranik, and I'm Head of Engineering at GumGum. We started using Spot by NetApp in 2017. And in very first year of using it, we were able to realize $500,000 of savings. GumGum is a contextual intelligence company in digital advertising space. We use computer vision, natural language processing to extract text, images, and video from a web page. And then we kind of create a context around it. And this context allows us to really match an ad, an appropriate ad with a web page. We run 10 billion transactions, real-time bidding transactions every single day. And our ad servers generate 20 terabytes of data every single day that gets processed in the data pipelines downstream. We use Spot by NetApp to take advantage of AWS's Spot instances. What Spot by NetApp does for us is it takes care of bidding for those Spot instances. And thereby it makes it really easy for us to use Amazon Spot instances. And this is extremely important in case of our AI workloads, because in AI we have to use a lot of expensive GPU instances. And when Spot by NetApp helps us to reduce cost by 50 to 60%, that's a drastic reduction. And really, that makes, in a way, our business viable.
Whatever cloud you use, we can save you up to 70% on your budget. We can't tell you how to spend it.
Hey everyone, I'm Mecca Williams, Principal Engineer for NetApp. Welcome to More Cloud, Less Cost. It's my favorite jam. Over the next 20 minutes, we're going to tell you how to get more out of your cloud, both your storage and your compute. You'll meet Spot by NetApp and learn how to use it to better understand your cloud infrastructure and how to save money. And we'll share some ideas on what to do with all that extra cash. First, we're going to take a look at Cloud Insights, a SaaS application that monitors resources across on-premises and cloud environments. Over the last few months, to achieve ubiquity, many companies moved their workloads into the cloud. If this hits home for you, are your cloud choices sustainable over the long term? Are there things you could do to avoid over-provisioning and reduce waste in your infrastructure? Well, James Holden has the answers for you. He's a problem solver. He's a fisherman. He's a man of very few words, so pay attention to every one. Welcome, Mr. Cloud Insights himself, James Holden.
Thank you, Mecca. That's why it's an incredibly exciting time to be at NetApp. We're creating some awesome innovations that enable organizations to innovate in the cloud while controlling their spend and reducing risks. And evaluating your cloud resources starts with visibility into your infrastructure and your applications. Cloud Insights has helped organizations across the globe do this. It provides the end-to-end monitoring and analysis into the health, performance, cost, and security of those infrastructures that are shared across multiple applications and lines of business. So whether these infrastructures are on-prem, in the cloud, running Kubernetes, Cloud Insights optimizes their utilization, reduces the mean time to recovery, delivers chargeback and showback, and enables business process automation. So we released a service in 2018 to help any size of organization monitor and analyze their infrastructure. And have developed a robust platform, recently obtaining our SOC 2 Type 2 certification. So let's have a look at what Cloud Insights is all about. So managing IT resources starts with knowing what is out there, how it's behaving, to ensure the optimal utilization of those resources. Take a look at this dashboard. It's a new dashboard from our gallery, a real-time view of all the NetApp storage. You have a single view into the storage portfolio from AFX, Storage Grid, Azure NetApp Files, E-Series, all in that one view. You can see what's overused and what is becoming full. And we've also got deep understanding of the underlying metrics as well. We've got thousands of ONTAP metrics streaming into the system, allowing you to understand all the areas to troubleshoot. But it doesn't stop at just NetApp devices. We've got hundreds of data collectors, all picking up on that full stack visibility. So whether you're running Azure, AWS, or GCP, we have a data collector that's going to give you insights into areas to optimize. And we often see plenty of opportunities to save on cost. This dashboard shows a few of the easiest ways to gain control of that infrastructure. We've got instances of very low utilization, but the CPU cores are turned on, highlighted here with the 139 cores. We've got EBS volumes that were once attached to an instance, but are no longer, just stealthily racking up costs in the infrastructure. 135 terabytes here. Or with EBS volumes that are using the most performance type of storage when the lowest tier would be sufficient. Finally, snapshots that are no longer associated with a live virtual machine, taking up nearly a petabyte of storage. As you'll agree, there's plenty of places to improve that utilization. So we developed Cloud Insights on a Kubernetes platform, and it's been important for our dev teams to understand how that service is running. What better way to do that than actually use Cloud Insights' new Kubernetes Explorer functionality to do so. You can seamlessly navigate all across the cluster. You can see the performance of all different aspects. You can zoom down into each of the component sets. Here we've got every different node in that cluster. And when we navigate down, you can filter down different cluster views, seeing how each of those components are behaving. The detail goes all the way down to the containers and the underlying storage. And with our targeted and conditional alerts, you'll have less noise and more relevance. Using this information, you can quickly identify unused or abandoned resources, allowing you to save money. So as you can see, we've been very busy innovating the Cloud Insights platform to help you identify where to optimize. I'd also recommend checking out a new component that we've been building. We call it Cloud Secure, and it really helps customers understand any kind of abnormal user behavior in the environment. Now, during this pandemic, there's been a huge increase in ransomware. It can cost organizations hundreds of thousands of dollars to prevent. Well, this functionality gives you those insights. From the start of an incident to cloud secure, using its machine learning to identify abnormal user activity, takes just a matter of minutes. And we have the functionality to kind of alert on that information, wherever it be notifying the actual user themselves, emailing their manager, or starting to take snapshots of that data, giving the minimum time for the recovery point to be obtained. And it detects more than just ransomware. Any abnormal user activity is flagged, whether it be someone accessing files they wouldn't normally, or malicious destruction of those files. Plenty of opportunities there to save you time, effort, and cost from running wherever you want that ONTAP to be. So if you want to get a free trial of Cloud Insights, you can do so by visiting cloud.netapp.com/Cloud Insights. Back to you, Mecca.
Thanks for the insight, James. That never gets old. Well, maybe sometimes. But anyways, my day job is to be the cloud test architect for Azure, Google Cloud, and AWS. So I get to see what we're spending. And when the cloud bills started rolling in, I got to tell you, I got a little freaked out. And I wasn't the only one. So did Al. Do you guys know Al? Yeah, well, Al is the cloud spend boss. So this wasn't good. When it came to NetApp's Common Test Lab, which is a key part of the cloud test ecosystem where NetApp engineers test out updates to Cloud Volumes ONTAP software, our cloud compute costs were rising, and they were rising fast. We had to figure out a way to reduce our spend without sacrificing efficiency. We were able to find a solution that saved us up to 65% per compute instance. And that's a lot of money. While we were off presenting this proof of concept to our leadership, my phone started to blow up. Chat messages everywhere. Hey, Mecca, had you heard the news? What news? Well, apparently, NetApp had acquired Spot. Now, why was this such a big deal? Well, Spot is the company behind the solution that we found to save us all that money. How exciting. We would have used the solution regardless because it was that good. But now, Spot was going to be part of NetApp's portfolio of cloud solutions. Fantastic. To tell us more about Spot by NetApp, I am thrilled to introduce you to Kevin McGrath. Now, Kevin's a popular guy. Here's a fun fact. Kevin was invited to speak at just about every session here at Insight, but we got him first. So let's give a warm NetApp welcome to Kevin and Spot.
Thank you, Mecca. We are thrilled to be part of the NetApp team. And it's great to know that you were using the Spot by NetApp product before the acquisition even happened. And it's even better to know that that product is helping you with your efficiency and your cost on all the clouds you operate on. It's also really great to see the advancements of Cloud Insights, and knowing that Cloud Insights and the rest of the NetApp platform can seamlessly integrate with Spot by NetApp today is great news for where we're headed in the future. So who is Spot? Why are we here? We've actually been around for 5 years before the acquisition. And during that time, we've gained thousands of customers in all verticals. And you can see the graph here of all the customers that we have, from enterprises to cloud native startups. All of these customers trust Spot by NetApp with their production grade applications across every major cloud provider. So why do they do that? It's because Spot specializes in continuous optimization. Now, we all know about continuous integration and continuous delivery, but where Spot really carves out its values with continuous optimization. After code goes from engineers' fingertips to production, who's making sure that it scales, it operates, and it's analyzed for the most efficient scaling and most efficient delivery on top of infrastructure possible? That's where Spot comes into play. We make sure that any workload that comes out of the CI/CD process is continually right-sized and optimized for the cloud that it's delivered to. So how do we do this? Well, the Spot platform is an extensive data and analytics platform that analyzes capacity and availability of compute resources in real time. And based on those insights, our products provision, scale, refresh cloud compute resources to avoid interruptions, we meet demand, and minimize compute costs, all without requiring changes to applications. We're the only solution that combines analytics, guidance, automation to continuously optimize the cloud infrastructure for every application. We don't just show you information. We used advanced analytics to show you what matters and then actually go and optimize it for you. Now let's focus on how all of this begins. And that's with the Cloud Analyzer product. When anybody comes into the Spot by NetApp platform, the first thing you'll see is a dashboard from Cloud Analyzer. Now what is that? Cloud Analyzer is actionable cost and usage insights with anomaly detection and remediation. Again, at Spot by NetApp, we don't stop by showing you how to do things. We make sure there's an action tied to everything that we do. So let's take a look at the dashboard. When we bring up Cloud Analyzer, you're going to get a full view of your cloud accounts and how much you're spending and how much you will have to pay every single month. But most importantly, we're going to call out where you're not being efficient. In that right column at the top, you can see where you're missing savings. So how do you go get those savings? How do you make sure you're running efficiently on your cloud? Well, if you take a look at the account list here on the left, that's going to show you your efficiency scores. And your efficiency scores are going to guide you to the accounts that you can do the most amount of work in to save the most amount of money. And we'll dive further into that in a second, but I want to show you the real power of Cloud Analyzer, which, by the way, you get for free with the platform. We don't charge you just to show you how to be efficient. We only charge you for actually being efficient. But we'll break down cloud costs in every way that you can think. We'll break it down by account, by service, by type. Any report that you want to slice and dice to figure out where your cloud costs are going, Cloud Analyzer is the tool for you. Now again, Cloud Analyzer doesn't stop there. I said we also do detection and remediation. So let's dig into that. When I talk about detection, I talk about looking at trends and notifications. Trends and notifications are going to show us where anomalies happen during the month or during the week. And it's going to call out different points in time where costs go up too high, or maybe they fall too low. Now, any of these notifications can then be taken with action. And that's where the platform really comes into play. Cloud Analyzer shows how to optimize applications with the rest of the Spot by NetApp portfolio. I'm talking about Elastigroup, I'm talking about Ocean, and I'm talking about Eco. Here's an example of containers, where we're calling out how much missed savings exists across all cloud accounts for the company. After you dig into here, you can see what services are running most inefficiently, probably running with mostly on-demand instances in a scaling application. And then we have a call out at the bottom to get started right away. And this Get Started button actually starts saving you money as soon as you click it. It will convert inefficient scaling groups over to efficient scaling groups and start saving you up to 90% off your costs of compute. Now, it doesn't stop with scaling applications. The platform also works with traditional applications that you might run 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, every single second of the year. And with that, the platform can automatically buy and sell what's called reserved commitments with any cloud provider. This allows you to save money on any application that's in the cloud without your engineering team lifting a finger. So how do you start using this today? Cloud Manager is already being integrated with Cloud Analyzer. And this is great news. For every single NetApp customer that is already using Cloud Manager, you are going to see a new Compute tab pop up in your dashboard. That Compute tab will bring you directly to Cloud Analyzer, and those screens will be shown within your Cloud Manager dashboard. You'll begin to see everything from Cloud Analyzer right in the portal that you already use. And then you're one click away from turning on Elastigroup, Ocean, or Eco. So I'm very happy to say that we are excited to be part of the NetApp family. And Mecca, I am really, really grateful that it's already working for you. It's just that easy. I'm happy to be on the team and excited for the future.
Thanks, Kevin. I am one of Spot's biggest fans, one of the biggest out there. There's nothing quite like seeing all those opportunities for all that savings right on that beautiful dashboard that just screams at you, use me. And it makes Al happy. I mean, really happy. My team is busy identifying all the workflows that we can move over to Spot. So you've saved all this money, but now you face a bigger problem. What are you going to do with all that savings? Well, we've polled some of our experts, and here are the top 10 suggestions for how to spend the money that you save with Cloud Insights and Spot. Number 10, 1-year contract with Khloe Kardashian's personal trainer. Number 9, SpaceX ticket to the International Space Station. Number 8, luxurious yurt home office. Number 7, chinchillas for your whole team. Number 6, stress-relieving aromatherapy kit for Al. Number 5, replica Moira Rose wig collection. Number 4, break the Tiger King out of jail. Number 3, Murder, She Wrote DVD box set. Number 2, bananas. And the number 1 way to spend all your money is adopt all the pets from your favorite animal shelter. I really like that one, my favorite. So thanks everyone for spending this time with us. I hope you enjoyed learning more about Cloud Insights and Spot. If you do want to learn more, check out these breakout sessions on Cloud Insights and Spot. Now, I know you're really just ready to go out there and try it out and start saving your own money. Well, we're going to help you. Head on over to cloud.netapp.com/insight 2020 for a collection of special offers and trials, including free trials of Spot and Cloud Insights. Outstanding. Well, thanks again and enjoy your insight.
Hello, everyone. You're watching the NetApp Insight 2020 live stream. I'm your MC, Lena Nguyen. And if you learned something from our first mega session of the day, why not spread the word with the hashtag NetApp Insight? We're tracking the conversation and would love to hear what you think. Also, feel free to share your comments in the live chat. And as always, if you're having any technical issues, please hit that help button above. If you missed any of the program so far, it will show up in the on-demand content library once today's live stream has concluded. Ready for more? Here are 2 NetApp specialists with a preview of their sessions.
Hi, everybody. My name is Logan Carrington. Right now, I'm in beautiful Lake Merritt, which is in Oakland, California. Today, I'm going to talk to you guys about workloads and running. I know they both probably sound pretty exhausting. Instead of running in circles, trying to get the most out of your enterprise applications, listen to me and our additional specialists at NetApp who can help you ease the burn in Insight 2020.
Hey, everyone. I'm Lavi Ferdman in Israel. As a specialist, I can't teach you how to snowboard these days, but I can show you how Ocean, our serverless infrastructure engine for Kubernetes, can make your life so easy while save you a ton of money and time. Watch my demo and vote for me in the Innovation Hour.
In a moment, NetApp Chief Technologist, Cloud and DevOps Ingo Fuchs is going to take us to his cabin in the woods. And no, it's not the one from the B-movie horror film. But if you thought that managing persistent storage for your containers was the stuff of nightmares, Ingo and his team will leave you with some sweet Kubernetes dreams. In fact, Yahoo Japan is out of the woods with their application development infrastructure to support containers using Kubernetes. Let's see how it's going in our next Customer Chronicle.
皆さんこんにちは。ヤフー株式会社で CTO を務めております藤門です。このようなカンファレンスに参加することができ大変光栄に思っております。当社が運営するヤフージャパンは国内利用者数8000万人以上を誇る国内最大級のインターネットサービスになっています。ニュースや検索などのメディアサービスはもちろんですが、ネット通販やオークションといったコマースサービスも力を得ており、現在は100を超えるサービスを展開しております。私が CTO に就任した2015年ですけれども、長年事業を継続してきたことによる技術的負債が増え、開発スピードの鈍化という課題を抱えつつありました。そこで開発環境のモダナイゼーションに着手しましたが、このモダナイゼーションによって獲得したい一番のケイパビリティは、1日に何度もサービスがデプロイされ、 ユーザーに価値が提供できるということです。したがってですね、この開発のリードタイムを短くするためには、このコンテナ技術は必要不可欠な技術であり、さらにそのコンテナのオーケストレーションである Kubernetes が近い将来最も重要な中核技術になると確信し、Yahoo Japan ではですね、Kubernetes を活用したクラウドネイティブな開発環境基盤を自社開発しています。はい、現在Yahoo Japan の多くのサービスがこの Kubernetes を利用しており、実に20万のコンテナが稼働しております。主にステートレスのワークロードを処理していますが、社内での利用拡大に伴いましてステートフルのワークロードの要求が高くなってきています。この時どのようなストレージを選択するかがポイントになるわけですけれども、 Yahoo Japan は格納データの重要度やその格納する上でのコストによってストレージを使い分けるという方針にしています。中でも格納データの重要度の高いケースにおいて Yahoo Japan でも利用実績のあるネットアップスさんの製品を利用させてもらうことにしました。この重要度の高いデータを使うワークロードにチャレンジするにあたり、さまざまな試行錯誤を行いましたけれども、ネットアップさんのサポートをいただき、無事実現することができました。
Sometimes it can be tough to control cabin fever, especially if you live in a cabin. But today we're going to learn how to control cabin fever with Kubernetes. So let's go, chop chop. Welcome to my little cabin in the mountains outside of Boulder, Colorado. Today we are here to talk about how to contain your cabin fever with Kubernetes. I often get the question, why are containers such a hot topic? And it really ties back to digital transformation. As customers are looking to innovate in their business and create new business opportunities through software. Containers are the most effective and efficient way to develop and deploy software today. Containers make this very easy because they're lightweight and portable, enabling you to create safe development environments for your application developers and scalable deployments for your production environments, both on premises and in public clouds. In fact, NetApp has been in the container business for a long time. We released the very first plugin for Docker back in 2015. We provided the first external storage provisioner for Kubernetes with Trident. We provide full commercial support for customers with support contracts. We're a major contributor to CSI, the container storage interface. And we were the first to provide advanced data management features like cloning. Let's start our deep dive into containers with Project Astra. Cheyenne, you're our specialist for all things Astra. Can you tell us a bit more about the project and what it's all about?
Sure, thanks Ingo. So why Project Astra? At NetApp, we know that Kubernetes is the platform on which enterprises will run next-generation workloads, and even some traditional ones. As customers wrote new apps or moved existing apps to Kubernetes, the biggest problem was the ability to consume high-performing persistent storage. At NetApp, we solved that problem with our open-source Trident offering, which allows applications running on Kubernetes clusters to seamlessly access persistent storage from NetApp storage portfolio, both on-premises and in the public clouds. Today, Trident is used by hundreds of customers backing thousands of production applications. With the success of Trident in the backdrop, when we talked to our customers, it became clear that we were going down the right path, but there was much more we could do. Primarily, our customers needed three things: advanced data management capabilities for their Kubernetes applications for data protection, disaster recovery, and migration. Our customers created a lot of Kubernetes clusters, and they wanted a tool by which they could quickly and easily move their applications from one cluster to another. And they wanted NetApp to do all the heavy lifting of managing all of this for them. This led to the conception of Project Astra, with which we are addressing these problems. You now have advanced application-aware data management capabilities, including snapshots, backup restore, clone, audit, and more. You can seamlessly move your applications across Kubernetes clusters no matter where they're running. And you now have access to a fully managed cloud service with consumption-based pay-go billing and no software to download, install, and manage. Astra is extremely easy to use and does not require advanced Kubernetes management skills. Simply register your Kubernetes clusters with Astra, Astra will automatically discover the apps running in your Kubernetes clusters. Once discovered, simply choose from a catalog of data management operations like snapshot, clone, backup, etc. that you want to apply to the app, and off you go. To get an even clearer idea on how Astra works, let's see a quick demo from NetApp's own Garrett Mueller, Head of Engineering for Project Astra.
Hi, my name is Garrett Mueller, and this is Project Astra. This is the dashboard. You can see that I have a single Kubernetes cluster registered. For this demo, I'll need 2, so let's register another. I'm going to reuse my Google Service account to discover all of the GKE clusters available to Astra. Let's add the one in Austin. Astra knows where the cluster is and what storage is available there. In this case, that's NetApp's native Cloud Volume service in Google Cloud. Let's make the standard service level the new default. As soon as the cluster is under management, Astra goes to work. It has already discovered an app, something called TPS reports. Let's manage it. That tells Astra this is something you care about. Now that Astra is managing it, you can see everything that it knows, like the live state in Kubernetes, the protection status, the Kubernetes resources that make up the app, and the storage backing it. Let's start protecting this app by providing a protection schedule. You can see that the app is only partially protected because a backup hasn't actually been taken yet. Let's go take a look at this app. Hey, it's Initech's company headquarters. Nice. Let's kick off an app backup. What does this do? Astra knows that this app is backed by MariaDB. It takes a consistent app snapshot, including all of the volume and Kubernetes state. Then it pushes all of that to a bucket for safekeeping. That done, let's go back to our app. Uh-oh. HQ is on fire. And at the same time, I went and deleted the running app from Kubernetes. You can see that Astra noticed that the app is no longer running. But that's okay. We have an app backup. No demo tricks here. This app is really dead. Let's get it back. We do that by cloning the application from that backup. But we're going to drop it into our branch office in Sydney, Australia, because our Austin office isn't in very good shape right now. Astra is intelligently reversing that backup process from earlier. Not only is it restoring all of the data in those volumes, it's recreating all of the Kubernetes resources necessary for that application to run in the new cluster. Let's see how we did. Great! The app is back up and running with the state we captured in the backup. But wait, that's not quite right. We're down under now. That's better. Hope you enjoyed it.
So you can see how excited we are about Project Astra. What do you think, Ingo?
I think it's amazing to see how simple data management for containerized applications has become with Astra. Thank you, Cheyenne.
Thank you, Ingo.
Now that you have your applications and persistent storage infrastructure deployed and in use, a key topic for day 2 operations is optimization of both compute and storage. So here's our resident specialist for this topic. Welcome, Kevin.
Thank you, Ingo. It's great to be here. And it's really exciting to be talking about Ocean and extending the Kubernetes story even further and on top of what Astra is doing to the compute layer. And when I talk about the layers of Ocean, this graphic kind of shows what we're doing here. On the top layer, it's all about right sizing. It's about the pods and the applications and the workloads that are running on top of a Kubernetes cluster. How do we keep those running as efficiently as possible? And then in the Kubernetes cluster, how are we communicating with the scheduler? And that's that second layer. That second layer is the Kubernetes scheduler, the container scheduler. How are we making sure the scale and the right sizing of the application as it needs more and less infrastructure? How is that being orchestrated? And then finally, that third layer, the layer on the bottom, is all about the infrastructure of the cloud. And how efficiently are you provisioning that infrastructure? Are you using the right pricing models? Are you getting the right type of compute? Ocean takes care of all 3 of these layers when you're deploying workloads to any type of Kubernetes or containers solution. So to move on, what we're going to do is we're going to break down how Ocean actually works within a containers orchestrator. On the left, you're going to see that there is a control plane, and on the right, there's a data plane. Now, the control plane is kind of the brains of the operation. It's where all the magic happens. It's very small and infrastructure-wise, maybe only about 3 nodes, but that's the decision maker of how things need to run. Now on the right side, there's the data plane, and these are the worker nodes. The worker nodes can scale from 0 to thousands of servers. This is where the major cost of the infrastructure of a Kubernetes or any type of container orchestrator, this is where it's going to be. And this is where Ocean does its magic. Ocean can communicate with GKE, AKS, a custom Kubernetes cluster. It can communicate with any of these master servers and then scale intelligently the nodes and infrastructure that's needed based on the pods and tasks that need to be scheduled within that cluster. So how does Ocean know how to do this? Well, Ocean is very intelligent when it looks at the pods and workloads that need to be run, and then it finds infrastructure that matches the attributes of this application. So whether you need CPU or GPU, or you have different types of CPU to memory ratios of your pods and applications that need to be deployed, Ocean goes out and uses the entire inventory a cloud provider has to offer, and then brings the correct infrastructure at the best pricing model and the best optimization for that application to the cloud. So within the infrastructure that's running, Ocean is constantly looking at the pods, how they need to be added to the cluster, and then finding the right compute underneath to make sure that everything is aligned. And what's very important to realize is that this is for both scale up and scale down. So everybody thinks about scale up, and you always need to make sure you have the right number of eCPUs, right number of memory, and every pod needs a different requirement. But also on scale down, when servers need to be removed from the cluster, you need to make sure that you're removing the right infrastructure so there are no unscheduled pods in the cluster. And Ocean is always making sure that pods can be scheduled and that you're never running with an unschedulable workload. Furthermore, Ocean gives you advanced cost showback and visibility to everything that's going on in your cluster. So what we're looking at here is namespaces, pods, containers. They're all detailed, so you can do showback and chargeback within your organization or just understand how an application is running. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring up a demo, and we're going to see how Ocean scales, and we're going to see the efficiency of the autoscaler and how that works. In this demo, what we're doing is we're going to be sending a lot of traffic to a Kubernetes cluster, an application running there. As we send more traffic, the horizontal pod autoscaler is going to request more and more pods be scheduled within the environment. Initially, traffic is fairly low. So if we go to our Ocean cluster, we're going to see that about 4 pods are scheduled, and this takes about 1 node to serve the right amount of traffic. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to greatly increase the amount of traffic that is going to this application. As we increase the traffic, and as the horizontal pod autoscaler needs more and more pods to serve this application, we're going to need more infrastructure to do that, more CPU and more memory. You can see here we're going to 50, 75 nodes. We'll eventually get to need 100 pods to serve this application. If we go back to Ocean, Ocean is communicating with the Kubernetes scheduler, understanding that these pods are very, very CPU intensive, and adding more and more nodes to the cluster to ensure that this application can serve 100% of its requests. Now, it's also making sure that these nodes are bin packed, so they're as efficient as possible. They're also all coming out of the spot market in this case. Ocean takes all of this into account as it's scaling up the nodes. It's making all of these decisions for you. Now, as the application's reaching peak capacity, what we're going to do is we're going to pull these requests down. So we're going to go from about 100 pods needing to be used back down to maybe 1 pod. We're going to just rip all the traffic going to this application away. Again, Ocean understands what's going on, so it's going to scale back intelligently the nodes that it needs to at the right time, and eventually your cluster goes back to 1 node. So again, Ingo, thanks for having me today. It's a great pleasure to talk about Ocean, and it's very exciting to see all the new technologies that are coming out at Insights this week.
Thank you, Kevin. It was really fantastic to see what Ocean can do for our partners and our customers. I really like this concept of automatically right-sizing resources up and down to eliminate resource sprawl and over-provisioning. Thanks again, Kevin. Another big job when it comes to operating containerized applications in a hybrid cloud environment is monitoring all of your resources across on-premises and public clouds. Let me welcome Josh, our Cloud Insight Specialist.
Thanks, Ingo, and thanks for having me. So we've covered how you can streamline deployment and scaling of containerized apps with Astra, and how to ensure they're lean and mean and cost-effective with Ocean. Well, Cloud Insights is the observability layer that helps you manage performance and troubleshoot and just generally keep things running smoothly. This means coverage of not just NetApp, so all of your storage and compute of any vendor, could be in your own data center, could be in any one of the major public cloud providers. And we collect deep metrics for applications and services as well. This sort of full stack coverage makes it easy to understand what's going on in your environment. And this kind of visibility for both legacy and modern architectures comes from a really broad experience of management tooling. Today, we're providing visibility for 20 exabytes of storage and 250,000 compute instances for customers all over the world. Of course, today we're here to talk about Kubernetes, and this is a big part of this visibility because it has to be. It'd be fair to say that Kubernetes has a bit of a reputation for being a dark art when it comes to management and troubleshooting, as it introduces a lot of complexity in terms of management, particularly with stateful applications. This complexity means that a lot of teams have chosen specialized tools for managing Kubernetes that let the experts dig really deep into performance and configuration metrics. But in a lot of environments, we've seen that these deep dive tools have created new silos. So we have Kubernetes admins on one hand that use the expert tools, and then admin teams of legacy infrastructure on the other hand. And I think we can all agree that silos are no good going forward, and we need to get away from them. So with Cloud Insights, we're bringing these silos back together. So for the experts out there, you can, of course, see all the metrics you would expect to see from a specialized tool. You can see here examples of dashboards showing roll-ups of configuration, availability, performance metrics. You can create a variety of visualizations here, use the out-of-the-box dashboards, or roll your own. And these let the admins of the Kubernetes environment that know what they're looking for keep tabs on health. Again, much as you'd expect, you can set alerts on different thresholds to be notified when there's something going wrong in your environment that needs your attention. But let's face it, not all of us are Kubernetes experts, so many dashboards like these are just noise. When one of the thresholds, like here, gets breached and I get an alert, it can be difficult to make sense of what's going on just from looking at speeds and feeds. So to combat this, we've introduced what we've called Cluster Explorer to Cloud Insights. This makes Kubernetes easy to understand and navigate for anyone, regardless of Kubernetes experience and technical background. We've done this by mapping out the topology of not only the cluster itself, but the infrastructure using it as well, particularly the storage, to build a dynamic view that rolls up any issues that might exist and lets you get to the root of it by following this simple connect the dots interface you see here. So when I receive an alert or just get reports that an application is running poorly, I can use Cloud Insights to follow the red and get to the root cause of the issue. I can then see the speeds and feeds if I'm the expert and I need to troubleshoot. But even if I'm not, I've been able to triage an issue and identify the container at fault. And this is something that, as a non-expert, I wouldn't have been able to do with a dedicated Kubernetes deep dive tool. And because we link the backend storage to persistent volumes as well, not only can you troubleshoot storage issues more easily, you can also attribute and control usage of your storage as well, which is a big blind spot for a lot of tools out there today. Where you can do all of this in the same tool that you use to manage NetApp storage, private cloud, compute resource, public cloud resources, and your applications as well. It helps everybody in your team get on the same page when it comes to managing the environment, whether they're Kubernetes rock stars or not. Don't take my word for it. Check out Insight Breakout 1320, where Kyle, one of our own Kubernetes experts, will give you a deeper view of troubleshooting, or even navigate to cloud.netapp.com. Check out the trial in your own environment and kick the tires yourself. So Ingo, I assume you've gone and requested a trial.
Oh yeah, I did while you did the demo. Fantastic. Good job, Josh. Appreciate it. Containers and hybrid multi-cloud create incredible opportunities for all of us, from a technology perspective, a business perspective, but also from a career transformation perspective. However, some people have somewhat unrealistic expectations. To be clear, containers are just one aspect of your journey to a hybrid multi-cloud world using cloud-native technologies. To really make an impact to your business, you need to look beyond just spinning up containers and claiming persistent storage. With NetApp, we are with you, from evaluation and development through production and ongoing operations and optimization. We help you optimize both storage and compute. And we provide full visibility across on-premises and cloud. The data management expertise that you already have today is a strong foundation to get started in this space. Here are some great sessions to attend that cover the main topics of this mega session across Astra, Ocean, and Cloud Insights. You can get started with our cloud services today at cloud.netapp.com, and you can engage directly with our developers over at the pub at netapp.io. And who doesn't like hanging out at the pub once in a while? With this, thank you so much for attending our session today, and thank you to my co-presenters. Please enjoy the rest of Insight, and see you soon. Chop chop.
We can't help you get a sweet bod. We can help you get sweet performing cloud storage.
We're back. Thank you, Ingo and team, for that great session. And by the way, when it comes to beard goals, it's Ingo for the win. Am I right, guys? I mean, I looked at some tape of Ingo from Insight a few years back, and honestly, I'm not even sure that's the same guy. His beard is just a bit longer. Great job, everyone. Show them some love on social media. Remember, #NetAppInsight. Okay, our next mega session is called Don't Run Your Workloads into the Ground, where several NetApp specialists will be passing the baton between enterprise databases, on-prem, and in the cloud. Well, when he was a track and field superstar at the University of Virginia, Logan Carrington specialized in closing out the 4x4 100-meter relay. Today, he's a specialist at getting the word out for how NetApp brings the best of cloud on-prem and the best of on-prem to the cloud, so you can crank on those databases no matter where you are. Rather than run in circles trying to get the most out of your enterprise apps, let's listen in on how the specialists at NetApp can help you ease the burn. The message? Don't run your workloads into the ground. To lead us into the session, let's check in with the Dutch SAP service provider Mybrand, who knows that no matter where you run SAP, on-prem or in the cloud, SAP runs best on NetApp. On your marks, get set, go!
My name is Pascal Ottens and I'm an innovation architect at Mybrand. Mybrand is a Dutch-based SAP service provider. We have over 100 SAP customers. More than 50 of those customers run at our own private cloud platform, and the platform is based on Fujitsu FlexRAM and NetApp storage. And the mission of Mybrand is to be the best valued SAP service provider in the Netherlands. As an SAP service provider, we want to be able to run SAP both on-prem and in the cloud. But to start with, it's our people that enable us to run SAP, and it's the NetApp technology that supports us doing that. What we want is to be every SAP system implemented in the same way, both on-prem and in the cloud. We've got more than 750 SAP systems implemented, and when our people are called in the middle of the night, we want them to run on autopilot. And of course, every problem is unique, but as long as the implementation is the same, our people can focus on the problem immediately instead of focusing on the way the system is implemented. And by this, we can help our customers in the best possible way. NetApp has helped us to unlock the clouds across our environment by porting all the capabilities that we know and love from the on-prem situation to the cloud. At Mybrand, we really believe we are the best valued SAP service provider in the Netherlands. And we like to prove that to our customers every day, 24/7.
Hey everybody, welcome to Insight 2020, the digital edition. My name is Logan Carrington. Before we start, I have a question for you. Who's ready to run? No, I know people are probably freaking out. I don't mean actually running. So the towels, the shirts, the pants, your watches, your AirPods, I'm not throwing them. You can put them to the side. I'm not mentioning them today. I mean running your enterprise applications with NetApp. Enterprise applications, they power your business. You depend on them to fuel your growth, streamline your operations, and drive your competitive advantage. As mentioned before, NetApp is digital this year for Insight due to unforeseen global events that we all know as COVID-19. Our world and how we connect with people has forever been changed. Business critical applications must meet the challenges that arise, including meeting SLAs for performance, along with security and reliability, while continually optimizing to improve cost. In addition, due to unforeseen global events, the mandate to digitally transform has definitely accelerated. Many businesses are looking to the public cloud to aid in this transition. We know there are pending changes for your journey, with major transitions coming from SAP ECC to S/4HANA. And the support for customers running Microsoft SQL Server 2008 is coming up. And customers for Oracle 11G, didn't forget you guys, or older, are looking to move to a newer release. The world is moving faster. Businesses need their enterprise databases to keep up. You're probably wondering why I'm talking about track so much. Well, I ran track for University of Virginia for 4 years. I had to stay ahead of my competitors through preparing and putting the hard work in, on, and off the track. Here at NetApp, we're doing the same thing for our customers, looking to modernize their infrastructure and stay ahead of their competitors in the marketplace, which in the process is providing new capabilities to the enterprise databases and other critical applications. I have a baton in my hand. I'm passing the baton over to Kevin, who can share more about how NetApp can help customers looking to begin their modernization journey. Kevin, don't drop the baton.
I got it. Thanks, Logan. For my leg of the race, I want to start by asking everyone to think about what it is that enables your business to make better decisions, accelerate results, and reduce risk. In our data-driven world, your data is the engine that drives your business. To get the most of it, you need to have your data assets in the right location, at the right price, and with the optimum performance needed in order to leverage it to accelerate and gain that edge over your competition. That's where NetApp as a hybrid cloud data services company comes in, bringing the best of cloud to your on-prem enterprise applications. NetApp's data fabric provides you the flexibility to leverage cloud-integrated technologies and converged infrastructures to simplify and modernize your current IT. It'll allow you to realize the benefits of technology much sooner. Think true end-to-end NVMe support, including reduced CPU workloads. Or how does reducing average database response times by up to 95% or reducing your data footprint by 10x sound? Whether you're running Oracle, SAP, or SQL, NetApp's certified database solutions will help you accelerate your projects, simplify your operations, and drive transformation. Let's be honest, historically, IT-driven projects were impeded by mechanical operations like provisioning systems and refreshing environments. Today, NetApp offers built-in data protection and automation and enables organizations to safeguard and access their data anywhere. Snap Center plugins integrate into your application workflows to power rapid and simplified backup restore, along with FlexClone lifecycle management abilities. This means IT teams can increase performance and availability while reducing testing and development time to help you realize up to a 90% savings in time and effort compared to those traditional solutions. NetApp helps teams design and build a data fabric that brings your enterprise projects to reality with unmatched efficiency and speed. Now, if you're talking about data accessibility, orchestration tools including Snap Center, RESTful APIs, and custom scripts provide application-consistent snapshot images of your database without any performance impact or consuming additional capacity. You can freely move data and systems to where they're required and optimize them to run whether they require flash, hard disk, if they're better in a hybrid cloud model, and we do this regardless of the workload profile being SAN or NAS. NetApp unifies data services on-premises, in a hybrid cloud, or across the world's biggest clouds. You can quite literally start anywhere and go anywhere as fast as your business needs. Now, ideally, when you talk about disaster recovery, you would hope the discussion could simply end when you see that NetApp delivers an industry-recognized 6 nines of availability, right? But then again, this is 2020, and clearly there could always be something you couldn't have foreseen lurking around that corner. This is where SnapShot, SnapMirror, FlexClone enable your engineers to leverage those thin clones within your DR facility to pressure test your application DR relationships without interrupting the application or risk of breaking a mirror. This will help you deliver 98% faster data recovery from planned or unplanned, or even some of those pandemic overloads that you've been experiencing. Let me guess. Few of you out there that are facing the challenge of one of those compulsory upgrades. Maybe it's the end of support for SQL 2008. Maybe it's that imminent migration to SAP HANA. Again, FlexClone enables you to leverage those application-consistent images in your database to quickly and efficiently power system refreshes to ensure quality, reduce your system provisioning times, and enable rapid prototyping in minutes rather than days. So for you, you get to upgrade when you need to and when you're ready to. With NetApp, you can work smarter, support innovation, ensure availability, and position your organization to meet challenges of tomorrow, no matter where you choose to operate. That's why ONTAP is the #1 shared storage software across on-prem and cloud. And guess what? It gets even better in 9.8, so I really encourage you to check it out. You know, Logan, I can't say I ever loved running, but as a competitive alpine downhiller, crazy speeds were always my thing. And with speed came some spectacular crashes. So I have to say, I could have really used some of those rapid recovery powers in my skiing. Any chance the cloud has any solutions for that just yet? Oh well, as I said earlier, NetApp really is bringing the best of cloud innovations and economics to your on-prem business. But what if my business and my data is going global? Like maybe say to the opposite side of the globe, like down in Australia? Hey Belbeer, maybe you can tell us what we bring to the cloud race, help take my on-prem to the cloud.
Cheers, Kevin. I want to begin by highlighting some of the prevalent problems customers raise in general when it comes to enterprise applications, whether it be on-prem and in the cloud. This complexity is kind of summarized in the enterprise database trends we are witnessing, such as continuous need for high performance, databases that bridge both SQL and NoSQL, databases in the cloud, or platform as a service options. Mechanized management is another area that customers want to automate the entire stack, and an increased focus on security and compliance. Keeping the trends and challenges in mind, and if you are a NetApp customer invested in on-prem or are looking for hybrid cloud solutions for business applications, then we clearly set you up to move to the cloud when ready without any compromises. And we provide this seamless experience regardless of the choice of cloud. Specifically, what NetApp provides in the hybrid cloud are as follows. Simplified and efficient DR for on-prem applications in the cloud of your choice. Here, if you have an on-prem NetApp system, you can simply replicate the data efficiently without rehydrating data, which saves both network and storage cost. Superior performance and availability for your business critical applications. So you can not only meet the strict KPIs for applications like SAP HANA, and more importantly, you can confidently run natively in the cloud. Accelerating application development, test, system refreshes with deep integration using efficient time machine, i.e. NetApp Snapshot. Flexibility with dynamic changing needs. Without sacrificing availability and resiliency, including adoption of Kubernetes for enterprise applications with simplicity across both on-prem and cloud using the same tool sets that you come to use. And above all, securing your data and applications both in transit, at rest, and also compliance checks within the databases based on the state-of-the-art NetApp Cloud Compliance Engine that uses both pattern recognition and machine learning algorithm for detection and prevention. I want to change gears that focus specifically on SAP solutions in the biggest clouds powered by NetApp. Cloud offers the promise of agility and rapid deployment, but the real benefits for SAP deployments do not come from infrastructure savings alone, but through accelerating projects, simplifying operations, and well-designed application integration. Choosing the right cloud storage for your SAP deployment is essential to achieve your business goals. Migrating to SAP S/4HANA in the cloud is the obvious solution, but it might not be that simple. This transition presents challenges, and in the case of file storage in the cloud, some SAP features are missing, and management overhead is added from having to manually build file servers. This build your own approach results in poor performance and scalability, which means that companies struggle to deliver the fast, flexible, highly available environment that SAP landscapes demand. Both Azure NetApp Files and Cloud Volume Service is an SAP certified storage service that delivers the high performance, reliability, and enterprise data management features and security that SAP landscapes require in a fully managed file service environment. Built on NetApp Enterprise Class storage, Azure NetApp Files and Cloud Volume Service in Google helps you optimize SAP operations by enabling you to simply create and resize volumes anytime as you wish. You can also adapt capacity and performance without downtime and create efficient snapshot images and clones in seconds. Hosted natively, Azure NetApp Files is directly operated and maintained by Microsoft, and so is Google for CVS, so you get high performance storage at ultra low latency. It's simple, easy to deploy solutions for complex SAP workloads and is the only SAP production certified storage service in the cloud to meet the strict KPIs for HANA. Now, I shall pass the baton to Dean, who is going to shed light on SAP themselves running SAP solutions on NetApp. Here you go, Dean.
Thank you, Balbir. Oh, this isn't right. That's more like it. Thank you, Balbir. So, folks, we just heard from Kevin and Balbir about the powerful capabilities that NetApp bring to the table in order to help customers manage their enterprise workloads and get most return out of their invest. Let's speak about a customer who's been doing that with NetApp for years, and that customer is none other than SAP themselves. NetApp have enjoyed a partnership with SAP for over 20 years. It's a 360-degree partnership, meaning we are joint technology partners, certifying our joint solutions, developing products, integrating products together. NetApp are also a pretty big customer of SAP, and most of NetApp run using SAP products and solutions. SAP are also a customer of NetApp. That is the relationship that is closest to my heart. I have had the pleasure and the honor over the last 18 years of establishing a global team of specialists who work with SAP on a daily basis to ensure that SAP get the biggest return on their invest with NetApp. From humble beginnings, looking after SIFS file services, we now have over 2,400 systems deployed in 42 different locations within SAP across the globe. Most of the internal clouds that have been constructed by SAP, be it for internal applications, internal development, or external software as a service applications, run on NetApp. You could believe that NetApp and SAP were made for one another. Now, why do I say that? SAP is a very data-intensive application. Most of the value that SAP bring to their customer base is derived from the data within those systems. So you have your production system, you have your QA, you have your dev, you need sandboxes, you need copies of data for DR, you need to back up that data. And who else is better to do that than NetApp with our lean, efficient replication technologies? Whether you run your workload on-prem in a hybrid fashion or in a public cloud, we are the ideal solution to replicate that data and get value out of your investments. But I could talk about this all day. Why not hear it directly from SAP themselves? Let me hand over to Lalit Patil, Chief Technology Officer from the HANA Enterprise Cloud. Lalit, take it away.
SAP's vision is to make the world a better place. Any kind of a software which is making lives of our customers easier, or trying to have services which optimizes business processes for our customers. The backbone of companies run on SAP. HANA Enterprise Cloud is a private cloud offering. We have airlines, engineering companies, large fashion labels in Europe and in the US. What they expect from a service like HANA Enterprise Cloud is the time to market. SAP solutions that run on SAP HANA need that high performance computing. NetApp is where the next generation ERP of our customers is running on. The data is stored at a really rapid pace. This brings companies into an advantage position because you are able to analyze data faster. When it comes to TCO, we are able to leverage more out of less, which means that we are enabling key aspects when it comes to infrastructure as a services stacks, and that is enabling our customers to not only save money, but get more value for the buck that they are spending. We have today more than 26,000 SAP systems deployed in HANA Enterprise Cloud, and that translates into hundreds of petabytes of storage. NetApp helps us deploy software faster and give better experiences to our customers.
Thank you very much, Lalit. A very impressive story and a very compelling video. Thank you for that. So with that, I'll pass the baton back to Logan over in Oakland, and he will close the session. So, Logan, with that, over to you.
Thanks, Dean. I got the baton, and I'm ready to bring it home through the finish line. To all of our speakers, thank you. I know I definitely learned a lot today. Just to quickly wrap up, we talked about a variety of things. We mentioned how NetApp brings the simplicity and scalability to your modernization efforts on-premises, your integrated data protection, and fast cloning of streamline your operations. We also discussed the best of your on-premises experiences being extended to the cloud, which brings your enterprise-grade capabilities to your data in any hyperscaler. Much like a 4x400 meter relay, you have to maintain, you have to optimize, and you have to modernize your enterprise applications and their databases through the finish line. It's a team effort. Trust me, I know. NetApp can help accelerate your on-premises environments, take advantage of the blazing speed of the cloud, and ensure handing off and receiving the data baton between the two is a seamless transition. You may have some more questions after our session, and that's entirely okay. You can never stop learning how to improve your business's day-to-day environment. Actually, now that I think about it, we invite our enterprise database gurus to come explore our customized journey to learn more about how exactly NetApp can transform your organization into the fastest company on and off the track. Again, one more time, round of applause and thank you to all of our speakers today. I'm not sure if anybody noticed, but our data baton traveled around the world. And now I'm handing the baton to you. Let's see how fast you can cross the finish line with NetApp.
We can't whip up a cake. We can whip up optimized cloud storage for your business.
Welcome back, everyone. Thank you for joining us for day one of the NetApp Insight 2020 digital event. I'm Lena Nguyen. And if you're late to the game today, we are in the home stretch of today's live stream. The good news? Everything we've shared so far, George Kurian's Vision keynote, all of our mega sessions, as well as our customer chronicles and brain breaks, will be available on demand in our content library shortly after the end of the live stream. And while you're there, please check out some fantastic stretches from NetApp's Galen Kelligan. Galen is one of the content producers at NetApp, but she is also a yoga specialist. Galen will help us get realigned and recentered So be sure to check out the 2-minute stretch routine that she put together for us. Now, one of the biggest hits of Insight over the past few years has been the Innovation Hour. Matt Watts and Phoebe Go will be our hosts as NetApp specialists from around the company, and in fact around the world, go head-to-head to bring us a sneak peek of several projects in development right now. After Innovation Hour, you'll get the chance to vote on your favorite team's entry, and the winner gets bragging rights at the end of the day. Yep, bragging rights. It's all they get. No cash, no prizes, just the dopamine rush of getting the most votes. And speaking of prizes, though, let's not forget that everything you do at Insight gets you points towards some fun swag. So the more you watch, the more you participate, the more people you meet along the way, the more points you get. So by all means, make the most of your time during Insight, and who knows, you might walk away with more than just bragging rights. All right, everyone, it is time for the Innovation Hour, where 3 teams get the chance to show off their innovations that will evolve the way you unlock the best of cloud, on-prem and everywhere in between. And because this is a virtual event, we don't have to spend all that time with standing ovations and handing out trophies. So it's more like the Innovation Half Hour. Rest assured, we could spend all day discussing each of the innovations you're about to see. To set the ground rules for the Innovation Hour, we've got Matt Watts joining us from Southwest England and Phoebe Go connecting from the shores of Lake Michigan in the US. Take it away, Matt and Phoebe.
Hi, I'm Matt Watts again.
And I'm Phoebe Go. Again, it's great to see you all at NetApp Insight. Welcome to what Matt and I believe to be the most exciting session of NetApp Insight, the Innovation Hour. We are so honored and excited to bring you the best NetApp Insight mega session.
With previous innovation hours, we've typically shown you things that exist, but maybe that you weren't aware of. With this session, we're taking a slightly different direction. This is not a marketing session. We aren't going to be peppering the session with references to digital transformation. We're just going to show you some of the great new possibilities that Spot, Astra, and ONTAP are going to enable for the future. This session is about showing you how some of these pieces all come together. That's companies we've acquired, projects we've announced, and the evolution of existing products in our portfolio. This is for the specialists. This is for those of you who want to know what's coming, the inquisitive ones. Hell, this is for the nerds in the room. This is about planting a seed for what could be.
This is how the Innovation Hour works. You're about to see 3 action-packed demos by NetApp experts. As Matt said, it's all about the cool stuff that we're going to bring to you in the future, brought to life for the Innovation Hour. We've given the specialists at NetApp free rein. What's the coolest technology out there that they could think of? And as usual for the NetApp Insight Innovation Hour, it's a competition for who has the most innovative ideas. We'll open up the voting at the end of the 3 demos. We'll ask you to choose which of the 3 you liked the most, and we'll announce the champion of NetApp's Innovation Hour. By the way, Matt and I managed to pack the whole Innovation Hour into just 20 minutes.
Yeah, we may not be the specialists in timekeeping, but we are the specialists when it comes to showing you some of our future technologies. So hold on to your hats for this one. There's going to be a lot coming at you during this session, and this is just one of the 3 demos that we've chosen to show you today. So without further delay, I'm going to hand over to Garrett Mueller, Chief Architect, and he's going to show you where we're currently at with Astra and give you an exciting glimpse into the future. Here, Phoebe, have a beer and enjoy this one.
Oh, why, thank you, Matt. Over to you, Garrett.
Thanks, guys. Hi, I'm Garrett Mueller, and I've got a lot to show and not a lot of time to do it, so I'm going to jump right in. This is Project Astra. This is the dashboard for a company called Initech. You can see that I have a single Kubernetes cluster registered. For this demo, I'll need 2, so let's register another. I'm going to reuse my Google Service account to discover all of the GKE clusters available to Astra. Let's add the one in Austin. Astra knows where the cluster is and what storage is available there. In this case, that's NetApp's native cloud volume service in Google Cloud. Let's make the standard service level the new default. As soon as the cluster is under management, Astra goes to work. It has already discovered an app, something called TPS reports. Let's manage it. That tells Astra that this is something you care about. Boom. Now Astra is managing it, and you can see everything it knows, like the live state in Kubernetes, the protection status, the Kubernetes resources that make up the app, and the storage that's backing it. Let's start protecting this app by providing a protection schedule. You can see that's an improvement on the orange area before, but it's not green until there's actually a recent backup as well. Now let's go take a look at this app. Hey, it's Initech's company headquarters. Nice. Better protect this app. Let's kick off an app backup from Astra. What does this do? Astra knows that this app is backed by MariaDB and takes a consistent snapshot of all of the volume and Kubernetes state. Then it pushes all of that to a backup for safekeeping. There's our app backup. Uh-oh, HQ is on fire. And at the same time, I went and deleted the running app from Kubernetes. You can see that Astra noticed that the app is no longer running, but that's okay. We have an app backup. Now we're going to clone the application from that backup, but we're going to drop it into our branch office in Sydney, Australia, because our Austin office isn't in very good shape right now. Astra is intelligently reversing that backup process from earlier. Not only is it restoring all of the data in those volumes, it's recreating all of the Kubernetes resources necessary for that application to run in the new cluster. Let's see how we did. Great! The app is back up and running with the state we captured in the backup. But wait, the app is in Australia now. This isn't quite right. Let's fix that, and that's better. That was a fun little trip through Astra as it exists today. Now I'd like to take you on a journey into the not so distant future. And here it is. Looks very similar to what we just saw, doesn't it? That's intentional, because in true Astra style, we're hiding a lot more behind the simplicity. First, let's take a look at compute. Earlier, I was showing off everything that we can do with apps running in Google Cloud. Now we're doing the same thing with more public clouds. Azure and the Azure Kubernetes service, Amazon and the Elastic Kubernetes service, but private clouds too. OpenShift in an on-prem data center. That's right, the power of Astra is coming on-prem to a data center near you. And all of that neat stuff you saw earlier, like cloning an entire app from one cluster to another, there are no boundaries here. You can just as easily move an app from GCP to OpenShift or from vanilla Kubernetes in your data center to an AKS cluster in Azure. And what's this, vSphere? NetApp is well known for its expertise managing virtualized applications. Why not bring it along for the ride? There's no reason why all of this goodness has to be for containers only. This is just another way that Astra allows you to focus on the app and forget about the infrastructure that it's running on. Now, let's take a peek at apps. Different managed applications running in all sorts of different environments, but it's not just about existing apps. We'll help you deploy new ones too. Popular apps from partners and communities that are qualified and supported. And last but not least, storage. How can we make sure that no matter what infrastructure you have, all of this power is available to you if you want it? Astra SDS. It's a cloud-native storage system from NetApp that takes the best of where we've come from and completely rethinks it for the cloud-native world. It runs anywhere Kubernetes does and turns the raw storage underneath into something truly magical, unlocking the full power of everything Astra has to offer, anywhere and everywhere. If you're as excited about Project Astra as I am, run to netapp.com and join the beta. But more importantly, vote for me. If you can't vote live, I think we also accept mail-in ballots. Back to you.
That was really something, Garrett. And I bet everybody watching has an awful lot of questions. I know I do, but that's what these sessions are all about. So think about what you just saw and what that could mean to you in the future.
And I can understand why you might be thinking about voting for Garrett's session. Astra today is so cool, and Astra tomorrow is going to be even better. I heard it's in beta right now, which means that the team is able to update features just as simply as hitting refresh in your browser. But hang on, Matt. We haven't seen everything yet. Next up is Lye Netapp, Senior Director of Product, as he dives into some of the magic of Ocean and the different levels of optimization provided by Spot by NetApp. So here we go, Lye.
Hey everyone, my name is Lye Netapp, and I am the Senior Director of Product for Spot by NetApp. Today I'm going to talk to you about one of the coolest and most impressive products we have in our portfolio, which is Ocean. Ocean is a serverless compute engine for Kubernetes that helps you to save a ton of money and a lot of time. How do we do it? Based on 3 layers of optimization. We are utilizing every pricing option in the cloud providers. This can be spot instances, reserved instances, on demand. We are also leveraging our own container-driven autoscaler that match the right containers to the right nodes and scaling up the best blend of different instance types and sizes. And the last layer is all about understanding your application resource allocation needs, fitting the right resources to allocate to each container, and based on that, even optimize further your environment. So sit back, relax, and watch the demo. In front of you, you can see the Ocean clusters view. Let's deep dive into one of them. This cluster is an EKS cluster that we're integrating with. Ocean supports not only EKS and AWS, but also the other Kubernetes services by the cloud providers like GKE, AKS, but also third-party tools like OpenShift, Rancher, or any flavor of Kubernetes that you're using. In this case, we deployed our container and controller inside an EKS cluster. You can see that we are running 102 nodes in this cluster and utilizing it by more than 64%, optimizing, sorry. How do we do it? We're utilizing your resources to the fullest. You can see that this is a CPU-bound cluster, and based on the CPU allocation, we're utilizing the underlying compute to the fullest. Here you can see that the CPU utilization of the nodes is more than 90% in the cluster. And on the left, you can also see all the details and configuration about the cluster. But let's see how do we do it? How do we optimize the cluster? So in this graph, you can see the pods scheduling over time. You can see that pods are being scaled up and scaled down. Based on that, Ocean matched the right nodes. It scales up nodes when the demand is coming, scale them down even to 0 if the application doesn't need those resources. Also, Ocean is building the cluster based on different instance types and sizes, building the best blend of different instances that will utilize your cluster to the fullest and save a lot of money. Let's deep dive into the nodes view. You can see in front of you the list of nodes. As I showed you before, we are running on multiple instance types and sizes. Everything is running on spot instances, so saving you 80% of your compute cost. And also you can see that all the nodes are at 99% utilization. And this is done by scheduling different amount and type of pods to different instances based on their characteristics. So let's deep dive into a specific node. You can see in front of you a node that is running almost in 100% CPU utilization. You can see the configuration of the node, the persistent volume claims, and you can see also the list of all the pods that are running on this node. You can see that we are running different types of pods with different resources needs, and you can see that everything eventually is building up a fully utilized node. In the next right-sizing view, you can see the next layer of our optimization. This is where we are looking at your resource allocation for each container in the cluster and see what is the actual requested allocation of resources versus how much Ocean recommends you based on the container's utilization in real life. So if you go down, you can see all the different recommendations that we are making. And based on that, Ocean is automatically tweaking the resource allocation of the different containers to optimize even further the environment. One example you can see here, a container that requested 6 vCPU, but actually needs only 0.15 of a vCPU. So if we change the configuration over time and allocate the right resources, we can save a lot of space in the underlying infrastructure. And lastly, we will see the cost analysis view. So you can see the breakdown of cost in your cluster in every day. Each day you can see how much you spend in the cluster from a compute perspective, storage, and total. But also you can see a breakdown of different namespaces and deployments. So you can see what is the actual budget and usage allocation for every namespace, for every deployment, and based on that, understand the budget allocation for each team, for each application, for each business unit. So that's Ocean in a nutshell. I'm sure that you can even learn more. Feel free to start a free trial and test it out. And if you enjoyed the demo, feel free to vote for me. Thank you very much.
Oh, Sorry, Matt, I was just voting for Lavi's session. It's amazing to see how our technology is really connecting those dots from cost optimization to infrastructure automation, even starting to combine their powers a bit like a superhero would. Hey, Matt, what do you think? In all your experience, have you seen anything as cool as that?
I just love how excited you get about all these future possibilities, Phoebe. And I agree, this is some amazing stuff. And I do know that this is the Innovation Hour, but for the next demo, I just want to bring this back down to earth a little bit. And we're going to show you something where Spot is already working. I really couldn't think of anyone better to wrap up our 3 demos. So let's get straight into the next one with the fantastic Mecca Williams. You're going to see how we've integrated our Spot capabilities into CVO with AWS for doing test automation and just how simple this can be.
Yes, indeed. Thanks, Matt. And that's right. We integrated Spot Elastic Group into Cloud Volume's ONTAP test workflow to save money, and I'm going to show it to you right now. Now, I jam-packed a bunch into this demo, so don't blink or you're going to miss it. Here we go. All right, this is what it looks like when engineers come in to get a Cloud Volumes ONTAP test bed. Here's where you can select your cloud service. For this demo, we're using AWS. I'm going to leave all the default attributes to their default settings, but I will tweak the one that tells the automation to use Spot to create the CVO node compute itself. All right, everything looks good here. I'm going to add that to my shopping cart like I'm checking out at Amazon. And I'm going to add a special use label so that everyone in this shared infrastructure knows not to mess with my Insight demo, please. Okay, so everything looks good here. I'm going to submit this reservation. It will go through a sort of pre-validation, and if everything looks good, it will go out and create all the resources that I need and initialize it, and it'll be ready to go once it gives me the indication. Yes, success. Let's go check out the reservation and see what happened on that side. All right, looking good, looking good. Everything is green, it's running, it's reserved. I love it. Let's make sure this is what we think it is. There we go, AWS, and use Spot to create the nodes. Here's some cloud resource details that it provides, but all I really need is this label here that says testbed name, and we'll use that to cross-reference in the other applications. So let's pop over to the EC2 dashboard in AWS, paste that label in there, and get a query on what it created from me. Looks like I've got 2 instances. I know the M5X large is my CVO node, and the other one is my test control compute. There's the instance ID. We can also use that to cross-reference if we need to. I am blurring out all these details here so that the secure engineering security folks don't come and haul me away for giving out the goods. Our automation attaches a handful of tags for our own information, but Spot also attaches a few of its own. And here is what those look like, but the one of most importance and interest to us right now is this Elastic Group ID. So I'm going to grab that, and I'm going to drop it over in the Spot dashboard so we can see what's going on over there. Now here's my favorite part. The Spot dashboard is beautiful with the savings numbers very big, so you can see how much money you're saving on a regular basis. We're going to drop my Elastic Group ID into the Elastic Group page so that we can pull up and see what Spot created for me. So remember my testbed name, we use that as well to create the Elastic Group name itself. And let's check out the instances that got created. I asked for 1 M5X large in a specific availability zone at a specific instance type, and it was able to service that request with Spot. And that's beautiful. That's exactly what I wanted. We could have provided a range, but for the purposes of this demo, we were very specific. And here's the instance ID again, like I said, that shows you if your photographic memory serves you right, that's the same as it was over in AWS. So that's what we did. Now I'm going to show you how easy it was for us to do it. Now, Spot's API set is very rich. It allows you to use their APIs in a variety of ways. They integrate very nicely with AWS CloudFormation. So if you're familiar with AWS CloudFormation, here's what the CLI invocation looks like. Our automation constructs a JSON template file that has all of the compute resource definitions in it, and that gets fed into CloudFormation so that it knows how to go out and build our CVO node. And this is what that looks like. It's pretty simple. So however you use CloudFormation, you can feed in a template file. To use Spot, the invocation is almost identical. You're just going to switch out that template file, and our automation can construct the template file that tells CloudFormation to use Spot on the back end. So here's what that invocation would look like, and I'm just going to swap that file out. Now, inside the file, it doesn't look identical, right? We have to give some different resource definitions in order to tell Spot Elastigroup what to do. So we're going to peek inside this file to show you what that looks like. So here you see the custom resource definition instead of your standard EC2 definitions. You will still see the things that you would define if you're using the native services, but you'll also see things like your optimization strategy, as well as how big you want your scale out group to be and how small. You can also define in here what you want Elastigroup to do if your Spot is replaced from underneath you. You can indicate if availability is more important to you than cost. And then, again, like I said, the standard compute definitions with the network security and storage that you need. And for continuity purposes, I am going to show you that our testbed label that we created in the beginning at the Common Test Lab UI is in this file because our automation constructed the file. Spot documents their APIs very nicely, so this was all relatively simple for our automation to change and do. So with that said, back to the beautiful dashboard. This is what it looks like, and this is how easy it was for us, and I hope you enjoyed the demo. And don't forget to vote for the demo that showed you how to save real money today using Elastigroup. Thanks so much.
So I wonder if you're regretting voting early now, Phoebe.
I might need to vote twice. Okay, it's now your turn. Voting is now live. Click on the Show Poll button to cast your vote. You only have a minute to vote, so make sure it counts.
I'll be honest that I really don't know who I would vote for. I can't believe that we've just been able to show all of that technology in less than 15 minutes. So remember, we started with Garrett and his demo on Astra and what Astra is going to look like in the future.
And it's great to see Astra as it is today in the beta. We have actual users and customers on this service, which is so exciting.
And then we went to Lavi, who gave us a demo around Spot Ocean, which of course is a fantastic product from one of our most recent acquisitions that we've made.
That's right. I am so pleased that we've got the Spot by NetApp team here, and they're in our insight sessions and running some really great demos.
And then we finished with Mecca, who was showing us Elastigroup at work with Cloud Volumes ONTAP. And just to remind you, that is actually part of our test and development, our continuous integration and development process for Cloud Volumes ONTAP.
Right, and Mecca is a great presenter. She managed to squeeze all of that cost optimization into just 5 minutes.
So anyway, hey, future Phoebe, what's the winning lottery numbers going to be for next week?
We may have squished the innovation hour from an hour into 20 minutes, but I don't know that, Matt. What I do know is that I've gone back in time and changed a few things in the background of my room. Did you notice any of the Easter eggs? Tweet at Matt and myself and tag NetApp Insight if you found any of them.
And yeah, I may have added a few Easter eggs in mine too. So keep your eyes open for those, and also add those when you tag this to the Insight post. But while you're voting, because we've still got time to get those final few votes in and decide if it's going to be Mecca, Garrett, or Lavi, but we want to just plug a few sessions.
Oh, absolutely. If you really liked Garrett's session and you're voting for it, make sure you search for Trident or Astra in the breakout session catalog to get all of those great sessions.
And if you like what you saw from Lavi, you can see more from Lavi. He's also doing one of the speed sessions, which is hands-free infrastructure for containers, Kubernetes via Spot Ocean. So search for containers, Kubernetes, or Spot, and you'll probably come across that one.
And if you liked Mecca's demo, check out the Mega Session. It's now available on demand. It's the Mega Session, more cloud, less cost. We have nearly 400 breakout sessions available on demand. If you're interested in any of the products that you saw today, search in the session catalog for Project Astra, Spot, or Cloud Volumes ONTAP.
Anyway, there can be only one winner. And as I understand it, it was very, very, very close. And what I can see is that Phoebe is actually getting the final results live from the studio as we speak.
That's right, Matt. We have a winner for the NetApp Innovation Hour. Our winner today is Mecca Williams with her demo of CVO on the low with Elastigroup. Congratulations, Mecca.
Yeah, congratulations, Mecca. It was a really, really great demo. But they were all great demos. And, the voting was very, very tight. So thank you to all of our demos, Garrett, Lavi, and Mecca. Thank you to Phoebe for being my wonderful co-host for this year's Innovation Hour. And thank you to all of you. So don't forget, you can watch any of these demos again on demand and enjoy the rest of NetApp Insight.
Thank you, Matt and Phoebe, and congratulations to the Innovation Hour winners for 2020. And while we're on the subject of winners, by all means, get busy exploring Insight. The more you participate, the more points you grab. The more points you grab, the higher and higher on the leaderboard you get. So let's grab you some swag. Well, with that, we have now reached the end of day one of Insight 2020. To close out, let's bring on James Whitemore. Over to you, James.
Lena, thank you. What a fun day that was. And such great learning from all of our customers, our partner companies. Just a great day of learning with a little bit of fun too. And I want to say thank you, a huge thank you to all of our sponsors. None of this would have been possible without the partnership of our sponsor customers. I don't know about you, Lena, but I'm really looking forward to tomorrow. We've got another day of great content and just have a little fun too, right?
Oh, it's going to be another great day. James, we'll see you tomorrow. And I'd like to add one more reminder to everyone to please share your thoughts about the day on social media. And feel free to pull up whatever content you may have missed in today's program from the On-Demand Content Library. I hope you enjoy the rest of your day as you meet the specialists and unlock the best of cloud here at Insight 2020. We'll see you tomorrow.